Welcome to this high school sports showcase event on Harford TV. I am Ray Ruse, and I'm here with my broadcast partner and friend, Kathy Bendis. We are at Magnolia Middle School for the men's UCBAC swimming championships. Before we talk about the meet, I want to welcome Kathy to the broadcast.
Thanks so much for having me this evening. Being here really brings back some memories, all the years of swimming and coaching. Looking forward to seeing some great races tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So we're getting ready to start the meet. They're getting the swimmers out here. We just had the anthem sang, and I will give you the name of the young lady that sang that. She was beautiful last night as well. Before we talk about tonight's meet and start it, I want to do a quick update of girls' meet last night. So here's a little video recap of last night's meet. This is the 200 medley relay won by North Harford High School with Jade Andrews, Logan and Ava Sealy, and Sophia Bonacontri. In second place was Harford Tech, and third place was C. Milton Wright. 200 freestyle was won by Carolyn Pennington from Elkton, second place Lydia White, and third place Libby Fisher. And we have the 200 IM. First place was Madeline Estep from Elkton. Second place was Bryn Radecki from Bel Air. And third place was Tegan McKendry from C. Milton Wright. The 50 freestyle was won by Gabby Brochu. Second place Sophie Bonacontri. And third place Grace Scott. Then we had the 100 freestyle. The 100 butterfly. First place was Gabby Brochu as well. And second place was Sophia Bonacontri, and third place was Grace Scott. I want to backtrack and say that 50 free was Gabby Brochu first, Ella LaFleur second, and Ella Seifert. So then we go to the 100 freestyle next. And that was, I think one more, we're missing the 100 freestyle, but I'll go to the next slide, which was the 500 free. Carolyn Pennington was first place. Second place behind her was Jade Andrews, and third place was Grayson Contance. Next event we have is the 200 freestyle relay. First place was North Harford again with Sophia Bonacontri again, Scarlett Sauer, Ava Sealy, and Jade Andrews. Second place was Harford Tech. Third place was Haverty Grace. Then we should have the 100 backstroke. First place, Madeline Estep. Second place, Tegan McKendry. Third place, Claudia Gursky. And the next individual event was 100 breaststroke. First place, Lily Schopf. Second place, Amelia South. And third place, Maddie Hoyer. And then we had the 400 freestyle relay. First place was Elkton with Madeline Estep, Samantha Clausen, Claudia Gursky, Carolyn Pennington. Second place, Bel Air. Third place, Haverty Grace. The next picture you'll see here is our three girls who won 2 events each. And we have Madeline Estep won 2 events, Gabby Brochu won 2 events, and then our distance champ was Carolyn Pennington winning the 200 and 500. Next slide is simply the teams being presented the trophy. North Harford High School girls, congratulations on the championship. Debbie Basler presenting the trophy, and then we have them celebrating. Great night. Now back to the boys' meet.
All right, here we go. 200-yard medley relay. Heat 1, it looks like in lane 2 we have North Harford. Lane 3, Rising Sun. Lane 4, Falston. Lane 5, Edgewood. So you'll see they were using the backstroke wedge. That's something that was new probably within the last, what do you think, Ray, about 8 years or so. I think that's been introduced, so that lets the backstrokers get a really good start so they can, get out there, get underwater, and get going.
It was introduced in club swimming 8 years ago, but more recently in high school, and the swimmers really love it.
Yeah, definitely a huge advantage for the backstrokers. So that means your feet aren't necessarily going to slip because you have that wedge to grip onto. And here they go for the breaststroke. So in the 200 medley relay, you're going to see backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and then freestyle. So it really depends where your strength is here. There's some strategy involved in who's going to swim what. Some of the swimmers may or may not swim their best event, but it might be best compared to who they're swimming against. So looks like we have, is that
I think it's
Falston
Falston
in the lead Yeah, so Falston in lane 4.
Ben Montoya coming in with the lead here. Now we're ready for our flyers. Kathy's best event ever.
Yes, 50 fly specifically. Always love that. So that's Avery Adams that's in for Falston. And it looks like pretty close in lane 3, that Rising Sun. So is that Rafe Schmid?
So what you said before, Kathy, does make sense, because sometimes kids will say, my best event is the backstroke, but you say, but your butterfly is better than the other person's backstroke, and they're really close to you in the backstroke, so it's best for the team.
Exactly. Looks like Falston's holding a pretty strong lead here. You'll see that the relay swimmers, when they're going off the blocks, they're not actually going down like a start. So when you see some of the other events moving forward, they're actually going to, they'll say, take your mark, and you'll see them go down and hold the block. You do not have to do that in a relay, which actually is a little bit of an advantage. So yeah, Falston's definitely, looks like they're gonna take heat 1 here, barring any false starts. That is something you always worry about with the relays. The swimmers on the block, as they're coming in, try to time when they're going to be able to leave the block from the swimmer who's coming into them. So if you're swimming and you're coming into the wall, your job is to make sure that you're finishing so that that person on the block can really make sure they get a good start.
And a lot of what Kathy means by that is they can do one more stroke or they could be gliding in. And I've seen multiple meets, hundreds of meets, as Kathy has, and the person diving sometimes makes the mistake that they're finishing the glide for the next 6 inches, but then they pull one more stroke because they don't know the wall's there, and then the kid leaves early.
Right, so you'll see the officials looking at that. You'll see our officials down there who are doing a great job trying to make sure that everybody's doing things legally, because if you obviously leave the block early before the other person touched, that wouldn't be a legal swim. So great swim there from Falston. Looks like Rising Sun was second.
So what you see here, the clock being shown nicely by our crew, is the first number on the left is the place, and the second number is their lane. So people get confused by that, but then that's a good way for us to look. The clock isn't always 100% right. There are times where there's an error on the touchpad, and our system is so great that they change that. So for Heat 2, we have Haverty Grace in lane 1, which, to be clear, is the closest lane to us at the bottom of your TV screen. Then we have Bel Air, Aberdeen in 3, Patterson Mill in 4, Hartford Tech in 5, and Seamelt Wright in 6. And these relay points, Kathy, are crucial to the team standings. Some teams will load up in 1 or 2, and their third relay won't be as good. Other teams balance their talent, but it can be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, relays are incredibly important. How they're scored, they're double what your individual races are going to be. So again, a lot of strategy involved for the teams and how they want to go about doing that. Is it better to try to get maybe first or second in 2 relays if you're not as strong in another one, or is it good to get maybe third in all of them if that gives you the most points? So trying to figure out what that's going to look like is definitely something the coaches look at. Looks like we got a great race going on here between Patterson Mill and is that Aberdeen?
Yes, and Ryan Hughes got a great lead on the backstroke for him, but now you see Gabriela Rios from Aberdeen coming back in the breaststroke. That's the neat thing about this event, just kind of like the regular individual medley. One team might have the best backstroker, but they might not have the best flyer or freestyler. So you'll see the places change in this race dramatically sometimes.
And I know Patterson Mill has a pretty strong butterflyer coming up. He's seated first tonight, Joey Sauer in the 100 fly. So he should hopefully make up some ground here for Patterson Mill. It looks like he's already doing that at the wall. One of the things in butterfly, you do have to touch with 2 hands at the end of the wall and then when you finish. So definitely something the officials are looking for. So he's able to make up a little bit there, it looks like, into the pool for freestyle.
So we got Alex Guerrero trying to work his way back here, but bringing home the lead for Aberdeen is Alex Park. And Kathy, I do my nerdy pre-scoring of the meets after I see the psych sheets and stuff. I actually have Aberdeen boys as the favorite to win the night.
That's awesome.
Not by much. So anything can change throughout the whole night.
Yeah, one disqualification or, somebody's a little bit off, something can happen.
Every year there's a couple relay disqualifications, 3 or 4 regular event DQs.
And as we talked about, so first place in a relay is 40 points. And then your second place would be 34. So again, really critical to try to get those relay points if you're trying to go for it tonight.
So our points go from first place down to 16th place. And the individual event starts at 20, goes to 17, 16, 15. There's a couple spots where they skip a point. There's a nice shot at our crowd and our parents watching and our teammates and friends. And then, to Kathy's point, the relay points are doubled. So you're allowed to put swimmers in either 2 individual events and 2 relays, or 1 individual event and 3 relays. It's rare to do the 1-3 thing unless that kid is I don't want to use the word odd, just the anomaly of they're best at the 50 free sprint.
Right, or you have just so much depth that you might not necessarily need them in that individual event, depending on your scoring there.
But normally your kids that are there in your A relays, you do want them to score in 2 events. But if a coach feels like, you know what, the only way we can have 3 good relays is if Johnny does 3 relays. So it is very strategic. Nice sign there for Leon. Way to get FaceTime, young ladies. I think that's what half the friends like to do at games when it's on TV. You ever watch a college football game?
Yeah, 100%.
They are trying so hard to get on TV.
Make a really great sign. You're more likely to get that airtime.
Yes. So, we'll get to some history while we're here tonight, folks. We'll get to some previews, some predictions. You see coaches walking around. He told me not to say his name, but there's my son walking by right now with the Seamount Right shirt on. We will get you to every coach that we can. You'll see them go behind the blocks, give their kids a little bit of last-minute advice. Normally they give it to them right before they go there. But the deck is a hectic place, Kathy.
Oh, it definitely is. You have the officials down there, the swimmers down there, you have the timers. So going back to the touch pads, if the touch pads fail, those timers are there as a backup. They also have what's called a plunger. So they will be stopping that when the swimmers come in. So there's 3 ways that they're making sure the time's as accurate as possible. Touch pad's always the first that they go to because that should be the most accurate if everybody's touching really well. So it looks like we're on the 200 free.
Yes, we are.
All right, heat 1. So lane 2 is Maori Hayes from Edgewood. Lane 3, Garrett Jacobs from Rising Sun. Lane 4, Braden Hummel from Edgewood.
So, Kathy, what do you think I heard a couple young ladies I was talking to last night that I know from 2 or 3 teams, and one of them said, I hate the 200 because I don't know how to pace it. I know I need to sprint full out in the 50 and 100. I've done some 500s, but it's like the half-mile run in track.
Yeah, so the 200 free is, I think, become more of a sprint event if you're swimming at a really high level. But when you're still kind of trying to figure out what that looks like for you, you will feel pain. So it's not like the 50 free where it's over before you know it and you're not really getting into that lactic acid situation. But the 200 free is definitely that grueling event where you have to make sure you're going out fast enough to hold pace so you don't get behind, because it isn't a distance event. And that's where it becomes a little bit challenging because you are going to be swimming for 2 or 3 minutes.
It's
or in the case of Ryan Baldino, only 1:45:50, which is the record from 2018.
And while we're past it, our 200-yard medley relay record is also held by Seamount Wright. Kyle Rutherford, Tyler Kozar, who's an assistant coach with Seamount Wright, Michael Starkey, and Ryan Baldino. 4 young men very dear to our hearts. Kathy and I both know them, coach them, or they've swam with my children. Probably not yours, unless yours was like 6 at the time. But no, it's this race. The girls were like, I heard them talking. The one girl was doing the 200 and 100. She asked me and somebody else how to swim the 100, and somebody started to tell her, take 10% off your first 50 of your 100 and then bring it home full force. And then one of the coaches said, no, sprint the whole thing. It's 100.
Yeah, it really depends how good a shape you're in. Yeah, but no, that would be my advice in the 100 free. Just, push through the pain. You're going to have to just go for it.
And you might hurt the last 15 yards. But
correct, but it'll be okay. That's why you train really hard, is to get through that, that pain point. But the 200 is always really critical, that third 50. So even when we get to the 200 IM, you'll see where that definitely kind of takes shape. But even in the 200 free, that third 50 is really key because, again, you're not quite at that last 2 laps that you're going to have to do. And that is where you're starting to kind of feel it a little bit. So if you went out too fast on that first 100, this is where you're starting to feel it.
So I will tell you that the results of the boys 200 medley relay came in, and 6th place was Rising Sun, 5th place Falston, 4th place C. Milton Wright, 3rd place Hartford Technical High School, Patterson Mill was 2nd, and Aberdeen High School with Brian Eng, Gabrielle Rios, Justin Eng, and Alex Park were 1st place. There were 2 disqualifications. That's very interesting because that's 2 teams in the running for team titles. So Bel Air Bobcats had a early takeoff, and so did North Hartford. That could impact the team standings.
Yeah, for sure. Especially it looks like Bel Air, they had a 155.01, so that would have put them in 3rd place. So those points will not count, unfortunately. And here we go, it looks like, with Heat 2.
So in Heat 2 of the boys 200 freestyle, we have Caden Miller, and we may correct lanes because they told us there might be some moving around lanes, but we do have Caden Miller from Falston swimming. We have Jack Gwynn from Hartford Tech. We have Legend Thompson, Hartford Tech, and Amon Wright from Aberdeen. I want to have a cool name like Legend.
Yes.
I'm just Ray.
He
How boring.
is a summer swimmer for a team that is near and dear to my heart. So, yeah, really excited to see him swim tonight.
And nobody's ever accused me of being a legend either, so that's not fair either. So they are in the lanes that we thought.
There
So
they go.
we do have Caden in 2. That's when they have that lane in between. It is an odd thing to me because you can't see the other swimmers as well. But Kathy, tell us how you try to get swimmers, and I was doing this last night with many swimmers from different teams. The kids have to realize that they can move up and beat times from other heats, and if they don't have somebody swimming next to them that can pull them along, they got to swim against themselves.
Right, yeah, you do have to really make sure you're kind of swimming your own race and putting some blinders on if you don't have anybody that's near you, because you do want to try to move up if you can. So just because you're in Heat 1 or 2 doesn't mean that you might not be able to move up in position, because again, these are timed finals, so you're going to be able to score wherever your time lands you. So even if you're in the last heat, doesn't necessarily mean that you would be in the top 6. So really important for them to kind of put those blinders on and do what they need to do to move up. But it is really hard to kind of push through when you don't have somebody next to you. But looks like they're doing a great job here.
Well, and then you have that happening right now. You have the swimmer from, I mean, he does have the top seed time, 2nd highest seed time, but lane 6, Amon Wright, is, so far stealing the race, but we do have the favorite in Jack Wynn catching up now.
Yes.
Now, coaches are on the sideline giving signals. So what kind of signals do you give the swimmers to tell them if they're on pace, behind, or ahead?
So it really depends on what your strategy has been with them. So sometimes you're on the sidelines trying to tell them to kick. So that could look like you're, using your hands, or you're using your program to, cheer them along. Some coaches, you'll see them if they stand up straight. That means you're where you're supposed to be. Really depends what they've talked about pre-race. But you'll see, too, some of the different strategies here where some swimmers are using their legs a little bit more than others. But definitely want to make sure as you're coming in that last 25 that you're kicking as hard as you can. And the coaches will be cheering them on the whole time for that. You'll see at the end of the lane, they're saying go, 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 and using those hand signals because, of course, they can't necessarily hear you. It really depends how loud you are. I don't know. Yep. I was never accused of not being loud. They could hear me in the water, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, this
but
is
yeah, here we go.
This
is going to be a very, very close race here. Wow, great swimming.
So
lane 6 looks like they took that.
Yeah, so the thing is here, you're going to have, well, let me let you introduce the next heat as they're coming in.
Okay, so Heat 3. In Lane 1, we have Braden Jones of Bel Air. Lane 2, Tyler Transey, Milton Wright. Lane 3, Shane Stradling of Haverty Grace. Lane 4, Shivam Thacker from Aberdeen. Lane 5, Avery Adams of Falston. And Lane 6, Caden Luan of North Hartford.
So what I find happens a lot in this 200 free, the 200 IM is different. You have to attack certain strokes. So if you don't have a good breaststroke, but you have a good butterfly and backstroke,
you got to get out there.
You got to get out there and hope you can keep away from them. In this 200 free, you can break people is what we call it in distance running, distance swimming, by getting in their head, but you have to be able to finish it off.
Right.
So if you're normally swimming a 220, 200 free, that's 4:35 second 50 freeze. But you don't go out in 35 seconds. You still go out in 29, 30 seconds, and you maybe start doing 36s, but I did see a couple girls last night do this successfully by going out fast. I did see a few that they hit the wall and the piano jumped on their back, so to speak, and their last 50 or 75 was much slower than they wanted to be. So it's a fine line of being safely aggressive.
Correct. Yes. And you really got to know where you are in training. I know it's been a little bit tough, obviously, with some of the winter weather we've been having. I know that's limited practice time for some of these athletes. So, you know, you really got to know where you are in training. Hopefully the coaches have had that conversation about what they feel comfortable doing.
Yes.
But yeah, so again, pacing strategy, and some swimmers like to swim from behind. Some swimmers like to get out there and again be aggressive and let everybody else try to catch them. So again, really just depends to how do you like to swim the race and what's going to motivate you the best.
We
so
also see
got lane 2 here.
That's Tyler Tran, and Tyler is a very strong swimmer, but he's not. The time he has for seed time is not near what he swam this event in last year, and that's partially due to the crazy season we've had.
Right.
C. Milton Wright lost 4 meets, and 2 to a problem at a pool and 2 to the snow. And then there was no time to make them up. So, like, Tyler's an example of somebody who, if he holds on to this lead and wins this heat, then he not only is 7th place at worst, but he could beat a time from the faster heat next.
Right,
and
it
move
looks like
up
he was
spots.
out in a 1:00:41, so
Right.
be curious to see, you know, how he holds on to that. I'm gonna guess he's gonna be at least under 2:15 would be my guess, based on it looks like how he's swimming. That third 50 again really critical. He's holding on. His kick looks pretty good.
Well,
So he's having a great swim here.
he swims a 59-second 100 free.
There you go.
So that shows you that he came in right near his full speed, and
So he's going for it.
he is going for it. I like his aggressiveness. We see a couple of our officials.
No, he might even be a little bit under that. So yeah, he's definitely having a great swim. So are the other swimmers over there. It looks like in lane 3 and lane 4.
Yeah, they're battling it out.
Yep, stroke for stroke.
So here we go here with Tyler Tran coming in from lane 2, showing his natural ability here. He is breathing every stroke now, which is just oxygen deprivation. You don't do that in the 50, but in the distance swims at the finish, you might see that.
Great swim.
Yes. So 2:13:33. So we will compare that to the next heat to see if he bumps anybody out. And I'll tell you what, Kathy, it psychs your team up when people on your team in the early events overachieve.
Right.
It starts to get a vibe. I have seen so many of these county championships where a team starts to overperform, other teams start to underperform. But you gotta have, if something goes wrong, you have to have amnesia.
Right.
And forget
Just
about
be
that
resilient.
one.
Be
Yes.
resilient. So heat 4. Looks like lane 1, Shane Whaley, North Hartford. Lane 2, Tyler Kirby, C. Milton Wright. Lane 3, Gavin Rogers, Bow Manor. Lane 4, Anthony Free, Haverty Grace. Lane 5, Bo Camerzeltz from Elkton. And lane 6, Braden Leeson of Bel Air.
So this is a perfect example. Gavin Rogers in lane 3 has a seed time 10 seconds faster than everybody else. But then you have Tyler Kirby in lane 2, Anthony Free in lane 4, and Bo Cameritz in lane 5, who have a time within a second.
Well, and they just saw, you know, what the heat before them did, so they will know what they need to do in order to stay where they are in their placing.
If they're paying attention. But I will give you one thing here. Lane 5, Bo Cameritz, one of the most talented swimmers. He definitely is better than a 2:08 in my mind. I bet you he swam that when he won easily and nobody pushed him. And
Right.
maybe he only swam it once this year because he's that kind of kid that can go out and be in the top 3 in 7 events.
Right.
But we do have our...
Well, and it does make a difference, too, when you swam it. Was it an early season time?
Right.
Were you in hard training? What was going on, you know, when you swam to, you know, qualify for some of these?
So we do have our leader, top seed Gavin Rogers. Notice something about these races, Kathy. Cecil County has very small teams, and there's only 4 of them, but they are very top heavy.
Yes, they
They
do.
won 4 of the girls' individual events last night out of 8, and they won a relay. And tonight, you're going to see them get some first places. And it looks like right now, this young, well, it's going to be definitely one of the 2 Cecil County swimmers in this race.
Yeah, he's on pace for a great time, it looks like. That was a 120 at the 150 mark. So really good swim going on here for Gavin Rogers.
Now, I know you were more of a sprinter, and you were very talented. So even though you're a better swimmer than I was, aren't you just kind of in awe in these distance swimmers like they're robots?
Oh, yes.
That they can just keep this pace
yes,
going?
100%. 100%.
Look at this.
Great swim.
He went under 150.
41. Must have been a goal. Breaking those barriers, that 150 mark is a big deal. And then looks like second place was a 156.56, so some really big time drops. 2:04.41 for third place.
Tyler Kirby's going to be really happy because he moved up a spot and he dropped 3 seconds to get
great
third place.
swim to senior year. Love to see a great swim from Tyler.
Well, Tyler swam his freshman year, did very well, but he decided to wrestle his sophomore, junior year, and we were missing him.
But he came back.
And he came back, and he's doing great. And he is a try-hard kid, but man, look at the talent in that heat right there between all these swimmers.
Now we have the 200 IM. So in heat 1,
yes, you're right.
Lane 2, Grayson Whaley from North Hartford. Lane 3, Maxton Fulmer from Bel Air. And lane 4, Wyatt Bryan from Harford Tech.
So we have a strange dynamic here, Kathy. We have 3 in this heat and 4 in the next heat. And people would be like, well, why would you not? Well, you can't put 7 in a race because there's only 6 lanes, so you had to split 3 and 4 off of each other. Makes it a little bit harder to see people with similar times. But like Max Fulmer, his seed time is only 4 seconds faster than Wyatt, so you never know. And Wyatt's going out.
Right, and again, we talked, I know, about the, strategy that you have.
I'm sorry, Grayson's going out in the lead.
There you go. Are you a better butterflyer? Are you a good backstroker? What is your best? If you're not a great butterflyer, you might just be with the pack, or maybe you're a little bit behind, but then your backstroke picks it up.
Yep.
And again, that third 50 of the breaststroke, always a critical point in the race. You'll see most breaststrokers are actually really good IMers.
Yes.
Because I would say it's an unfair advantage being a, I would say, relatively non-breaststroker. But yeah, really good race going on here.
So we have a lot of rules in this, and one of them is when you turn the backstroke, whether it's in the medley, the relay, or the open backstroke, when you roll to your stomach, you're only allowed to do 1 freestyle arm, and then there's a limit on how long you're allowed to glide.
So they would call that a delayed initiation of the turn.
Right.
So yeah, when you flip over, you can only really finish your stroke that you're using for that arm stroke. So you can't take another freestyle stroke. You can't really kick in. You got to make sure that once that arm is at its side, that you're actually initiating your turn.
So in our 200 freestyle results, we do have Tyler Tran moved up to 6th place. We have Shane Whaley from North Hartford in 5th. We have Anthony Free from Haverty Grace in 4th. We have Tyler Kirby from Seamount Wright in 3rd. We have Bo Kamerzeltz from Elkton in 2nd. And our champion, Gavin Rogers, dropped 8 seconds to win that event.
That's fantastic. So you'll see they are making that transition from breaststroke to freestyle. So this is the final 2 laps of this event.
And our lowest seed is stealing the race so far.
Right. So again, you never know when they swam those times, and always makes you feel good when you can get out there and get that lead.
So after the 200
looks like he's going to have a big time drop here.
Oh, big. After our 200 freestyle, Seamount Wright is leading the team's scores with 59 points, Aberdeen 2nd with 54, Haverty Grace 3rd with 48, Harford Tech with 38, Patterson Mill with 34.
250.83 takes heat 1.
It's going to move up a lot.
Yeah, so he dropped a ton of time. So Congratulations. Great swims by everybody there. All time drops, it looks like.
Well, that might be an example of they swam this early in the season when they weren't quite in shape yet. And then because of the lost meets, he was going to swim it again, but he didn't get a chance.
Right.
And his coach knew, hey, I know he can do a really good time. Heat 2, we have Julian Golovchuk from Hartford Tech in lane 2, Kirk Tran from Bel Air in lane 3, Joseph Forrest from C. Milton Wright in lane 4, Spencer Baki in lane 5 from Hardy Grace. Spencer's mother is one of the assistant coaches, Christina, for Hardy Grace. We have a lot of parents coaching this year, Kathy.
Wow, that's really interesting.
I think they're just...
I know my daughter didn't always appreciate when I was coaching, so she liked me to coach other people, maybe not her so much, but yeah, that sometimes can be a little bit of a tough dynamic.
So there, I have a young lady, Hazel, from Hardy Grace last night, and her father, Seth, is one of the coaches now. And I asked her, I said, so how's it like having your dad as a coach now? And they're a great young lady and great father. He helped me with my swim classes at HCC at one point. And she goes, he doesn't coach me, so it doesn't bother me.
Right. That is the best coach-parent advice I could give anybody. All right, well, it looks like Kirk Tran is out in the lead, doing that backstroke turn. So the flags are there so that the backstroke swimmers know when they are supposed to turn. So you should know your stroke count. That's one of the things that the swimmers do during warm-ups is to make sure that they know how many strokes it takes them to get to the wall and how many strokes they're going to need before they turn. So definitely one of those critical skills. Here he goes into his breaststroke. You'll see him do a pull out there, really nice pull out. So you are allowed to do one full stroke basically underwater, so it's a pull all the way down, one kick, and then your arms have to come up and you need to start swimming your breaststroke. We do have, it looks like a pretty strong breaststroker coming up here.
Joseph Forrest is a breaststroker. He's seated in the top 4 or 5 at the breaststroke, and he would admittedly say he does not like the butterfly, so he was behind on it. So the question is, can he make up all this distance on his breaststroke? And he's doing a good job of it so far.
And we talked about that strategy earlier, so he knew he probably just needed to stay at a certain distance to be able to come back on that breaststroke. And then it's really going to come down to who wants it more on the freestyle.
Yes. The body does start to hurt at this point. And, that's that mind over matter thing you were talking about, Kathy. Like, you can hurt when the race is over is what your coaches will tell you. Kurt looks like he's a freestyler, so he is gaining a little bit on Joseph, but let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it really comes down to that training. How much have you pushed yourself in practice? You know, that's why coaches yell so much during practice and for encouragement and motivation to keep pushing. Looks like this is going to be a really, really close finish. Looks like Joseph's pulling away a little bit. His stroke's staying pretty long.
I was going to say, Kurt Tran has a shorter quick stroke, and Joseph has the long stroke.
Just on the touch, it looks like it was Joseph of C. Milton Wright.
Let's see what the time is and see if it beat the North Hartford young man from 2:46. So
that was second place, it looks like 2:46. Let's come back and see what that first place time was. It'll be close to that.
Let's see here, because it looks like they both dropped a lot of time.
2:46.08, yep. Okay,
and then another 2:46.
44.
So both of them will be happy. They both dropped 4 seconds. Outside chance of bumping somebody from the next heat, but we'll see.
All right, well, we have heat 3, lane 1 is Aiden Jackson of C. Milton Wright. I coached his mom and her sisters. Lane 2, it says Michael Pape, but I'm going to say Mikey Pape. Lane 3, Michael Schlepper, Rising Sun. Lane 4, Justin Ing, Aberdeen. Lane 5, Gavin Billings of North Hartford. And Lane 6, Owen Starbuck of Edgewood.
So a lot of connections here. That's one of the neat things about a sport like this, Kathy, is, you coach some on your summer team, some on your club team, some swim with your kids. We both have that in common. My son is friends with the Papes. Older brothers. Mikey has come a long way in swimming, and he's doing fantastic.
Very hard worker.
I think you probably coached the Engs at Fountain Green a little bit.
Yes, Yeah, this is going to be a great race. Yeah, nice smooth backstroke there. Justin's always had a really great backstroke. So be curious to see, again, who kind of wants it more. The times are relatively close here. One's entered with a 2:15 and we have a 2:18, but again, we don't know when they swam those times. Looks
Justin
like
is definitely a
Michael.
backstroker, so that helps him here. Let's see if Michael Schlepper is more of a breaststroker.
See how these pullouts look. Oh, we're going to the side. You see everybody over there cheering.
Yeah, it looks
That
like
third 50.
Michael Schlepper is showing that he's a breaststroker. Oh, he took a little
He
peek
did
there.
take a little look there.
We don't usually like that. And how many times have we had to tell our summer
Yeah, don't
8 and
look.
under, stop peeking?
Depends if you really find that to be motivational or not. But, you know, as a coach, no, don't do that.
No.
You don't want any extra seconds because you wanted to turn your head. But his breaststroke looks fantastic.
But he's a freestyler for
Yep.
Justin, so can he make that difference up? I've had parents ask me, Kathy, can you put like those dog cones on them so they can't turn their head or something? Or put a little something on the side of their head? I'm like, no, I can't do any of that. But I can ask them for the 20,000th time not to turn and look. I have a 15-year-old boy that was doing that last year.
Yeah, sometimes too, you know, I would always say practice doesn't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. So, you know, if you do that in practice, that is definitely something that'll show up when you're on race day. So, wow, great time, 2:14.29. So that looks like that'll probably win that event.
Yes.
And 2:19.77. Justin came in strong there. Great swims by everybody.
Like Mikey Pape coming in third there, I think.
Lane 2, yeah, 2:26.
And then we have lane 5, Gavin Billings coming in. Then we have lane Aiden Jackson, looked like he got 5th place. And let's see what the 6th place time is, if they show it here.
2:51.61.
Which means Joseph Forrest moved up to 6th place.
Yeah, correct, which
From
is
the
why
last
we were
heat.
talking about, you know, how important that is for them to swim their race.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very quick up and back 50 freestyle. So heat 1, in lane 3 we have Joseph Hensley of Edgewood. Lane 2, Peyton Taylor Little of Haverty Grace. And lane 5, Sebastian Bundrol from Edgewood.
So we are barely going to have time to introduce the names, and the next heat's going to come out. And Kathy, this is just all power. The start is vital. You'll see some quick starts, and what we call the underwater, the breakout. Some of these young men and young ladies, oh my gosh, they could easily do 15 to 25 yards just gliding if they needed to with dolphin kicks. They're so strong.
Right, and you'll see the red markers on the lane lines. If you see when they come up, you have to break the surface at that 15-yard mark. So you'll see they just passed that there. Our leader right now, it looks like, is Joseph Hensley in lane 3 from Edgewood. But that is the marker where the officials are looking for to make sure that they break the surface if they do have a really good long underwater.
So you'll see swimmers at the end of the pool, teammates, cheering for their team. And the officials don't mind that.
46:33, another time drop. Yeah, they're.
Oh, that's the best time, yeah. The officials do not want you getting in their way. They have to walk up and down the sideline of the pool, and watch the swimmers. And they're looking for all the little things. There's not many reasons to DQ a 50 free, just generally a false start. If somebody misses the wall in their flip turn, you have to touch the other
like
wall.
that, right. So we have heat 2.
Okay, I'll get this one. We
All
have
right.
JK, I think that is, Amoyeni, Soren Parker, and JK was from Falston. Soren Parker's from Aberdeen, lane 2. Aiden Duda from North Hartford, lane 3. Braden Goodell from Hartford Tech in lane 4. Cole Tarrin from North Hartford, lane 5. And Joseph Augustiniak from Edgewood is in lane 6. We have 6 heats of this, Kathy.
Yes, really important to get that good start. That reaction time is critical. It looks like lane 1 had a really good start. So 6 heats.
The flip turn, Kathy. We do not want our athletes taking a breath right before the turn.
No, and especially in a 50.
We prefer that they take their last breath outside of the flag, head down, and then just dig to the wall, do a quick turn. We also prefer them not to pop up right away and do a breath as they get
Correct.
done. Streamline, do your dolphin kicks, do 2 or 3 strokes at least. We're not allowed anymore with swimming to say, don't breathe. But
we just try to, encourage them to do it as fast as possible.
Right.
But yeah, we would always say no breathing in and out if you can help it. So here we go with Heat 3. Lane 1 is Aaron Adams of North Hartford. Lane 2 is Caleb Pamela of Hartford Tech. Lane 3 is Chris Sargent of Bel Air. Lane 4 is Patrick Duhamel from Elkton. Lane 5 is Dylan Shalega of Hartford Tech. Lane 6 is Eric Chen of Falston.
So we will be having a break after the 50 free, and we will be doing awards for the first 4 events. And they give the awards, all the places get an award, but they let the top 3 individuals or relays come to the podium. Debbie Basler, our supervisor of Harford County Athletics, is here usually to present. Debbie has a busy end of every season getting to all the championship matches.
She sure does. And busy during the day and all of these events at night, trying to make sure that the kids have as many opportunities as possible.
So Heat 4, we have Miles Kerr from Bel Air in Lane 1, Neil Gupta from Elkton in Lane 2, Liam Ward from Aberdeen in Lane 3, Rafe Schmid from Rising Sun in 4, Mason Halter from Elkton in 5, and Bobby Barberis from Patterson Mill in 6. This is the only thing I was good at, Kathy.
The only thing?
In swimming.
In swimming.
And I was good at the sports. And, my dad wanted me to swim desperately, and I got high school coaches, and even Loyola coach timed me in the 50 free in a WSI class with Kenny Oldendeck, bringing up an old name.
Yes.
And there was somebody else from Harford County in there. And she said, that's fast. You should swim college. I'm like, but I get tired swimming more than 2 laps. I couldn't handle any of your workouts. What are you talking about?
I know, even as a sprinter in college, there was a lot of yardage going on. All right, 2880.
7,000 yards in a practice?
7 to 10, I would say, and twice a day on some days.
I
and
didn't
lifting.
even want to do 7,000 on land, let alone in the water.
All right, here we go. Heat 5. Lane 1 is Jacob Bauer, Rising Sun. Lane 2, Samuel Chadwick, Haverty Grace. Lane 3, Maxwell Cullison, Hartford Tech. Lane 4, Jonah Buckelman, Haverty Grace. Lane 5, Sean Lentz, Bow Manor. Lane 6, Sean Akcom from North Hartford. Askham, I think that is. Sorry about that.
So this is that last heat and this heat and the next one are the ones where you're going to see the points scored from. So nothing can be moved around any more than the 50 free.
Right.
A good start, a good turn, you're moving up 3 or 4 spots. A bad start or a bad turn, you're moving down 3 or 4 spots. We got a possible heat stealing here from lane 2. Is that Samuel Chadwick?
25.93, so
Haverty
that's
Grace,
a big deal.
And
Again, breaking that 26, so he came in with the 26 and just won a 25.93.
So before I make my last thought, let me tell you the fast heat. This is going to be a lot of white water churning here, folks. Brian Eng from Aberdeen in lane 1, Ryden Graham from Haverty Grace in lane 2, Joseph Sauer from Paris Mill in lane 3, Theo Kidwell from Falston in lane 4, Alex Park from Aberdeen in lane 5, and Logan Enfield in lane 6. This is the one event that we don't care if the stroke looks a little ugly.
Right.
Because they're pounding the water.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just whatever gets you through the pool the fastest. And your tempo on this is going to be the highest of any of the races for sure. So you'll see Joey Sauer coming off the wall really strong there with those good underwaters. That has really one of the things I think that's evolved a lot in swimming over the past couple decades is that underwater. Great swim there. Looks like it was Joey Sauer in lane 4.
And he broke a time. He went under 23. He's going to be happy with that. So that's the end of our first 4 events, folks. And I wanted to talk to you about something I hadn't had a chance to talk about yet. Kathy, we've had years where 1 or 2 teams are going to fight it out for a team championship, and then it's nobody else that's a contender. This year is one of the most balanced years I've seen. So going back to the girls last night, North Hartford won and pretty convincingly, but they also did so because they had depth. So when I was doing my nerd looking at the top times and the psych sheets and stuff, I'm like, man, most of the girls' teams had 3 to 8 girls who could score in 2 events. They had 14 girls that could.
Wow.
And that's depth that you had on your C. Milton Wright girls' teams when my daughter and a lot of other girls swam for you. But that isn't happening right now because you have more specialization. Kids like a Maggie Gallagher, whose nephew is swimming here tonight, and sister Erin is coaching with C. Milton Wright. She was a lacrosse star, a field hockey star, but she also swam and did well. You don't have that as much these days. So the top swimmers are swimming, the top lacrosse players are playing lacrosse, the top soccer players are. So to have a team that has 14 swimmers that are that good, that was incredible. But the other teams were very good and scored a lot of points. Tonight, I have a new favorite in Aberdeen boys as the top contender to win the boys title. I also have Happy Grace as a contender. C. Milton Wright, Patterson Mill, Falston, Bel Air, and Harvard Tech. It's like a 7-team race.
Wow.
And I scored it out.
It's been a long time since we've had something like that.
So there you see a good shot of Debbie Bazzer there, and they're announcing the boys' results. So as I had said, Aberdeen was first place in the medley relay. That was a good shot of the Harvard Tech boys right there. And there they are with Aberdeen stepping up for the podium for their, now all the parents and everybody cram in there, and coaches, not parents, but coaches and swimmers cram in there to take their picture. I was fighting through that last night to get the shots that we got in our girls recap, and it was really difficult.
Sure. Definitely tough to get down there and get a good picture.
Then I had to say, smile girls, this one's for the TV shot, and then they all perked up. Like, okay, we'll do one more good picture.
Well, they look very happy up there on the podium.
Well, it's been a very odd season with all the cancellations, and they're very, I mean, I asked some people, are you happy to get back to school and swimming? They're like, swimming, yes, not necessarily school, you know, especially the seniors. The seniors don't mind any of the snow days, Kathy.
Oh, I've heard that multiple times because I heard they don't have to make them up. That's what they keep reminding me every all the time.
So here we go with our 200 free, and we have first place, again, was Gavin Rogers, second place, Bo Kameritz, and then third place, Tyler Kirby. Smiling faces there, Kathy.
They look very happy. Always good to go out. Some of these, let's see, we have 2 seniors, so our second place and third place, both seniors. So this will be their last time swimming without, you know, with the exception of regionals and then states coming up, but always good to go out on the podium.
And let me clarify that, because I even had some people here tonight ask me questions about that.
Some selfies there with the parents.
Yes. So 200 IM, before I move on to my thought here, we have Michael Pape in third place, Justin Eng in second place, and Michael Slepper in first place. That was a great race. It's a good shot of Chris Bly there, one of the Joptown coaches, and the meet host coming at us with the striped shirt. Chris is a jack of all trades, running around doing everything. There's Doretta Davies on the right there. Kathy, she coached with her, and she's been coaching for a long time. Yes. She's helping Patterson Mill. That event to me looks so painful because you're changing muscle groups, and, you know, he's looking for Hollywood camera there. Look at him.
I never really minded the 200 IM because I just thought of it as a 50 of each, and wasn't the best backstroker, but I always was able to somehow get out on the fly. So again, we were talking about that strategy.
So we had, I asked a young lady last night that said she didn't like doing the 200 IM. She goes, I had to do a 400 IM.
Yeah, I was going to say, now that's a different story.
That's really tough. She said, I finished the 100 fly portion of it. I was like, I should be done now. I shouldn't have to do 3 more strokes.
Yeah, it seems, you know, that 100 fly going out on a 400 IM is definitely brutal.
So here we have that boys
53.
50 free results again. First place was Joseph Sauer with a 22.84. Second place was Theo Kidwell, another senior, 23.32. And third place was Alex Park, a junior from Aberdeen. And so that was only won by .48.
That 50 free is always a tight race. And again, it comes down to, did you take that extra breath? How was your start? How was your turn? So all those really critical things. And it looks like, I know we have a quick turnaround, it looks like, for the 100 fly. I think we just saw Joey Sauer up there, and he's now getting ready to swim 100 fly. That's always a little bit tricky, too, when you're trying to figure out what are the swimmers going to swim. And how does that look like in the schedule?
So he has a 10-minute break right now because swimmers are allowed to get in the pool right now and cool down from their last event or warm up. I always thought it was funny to see which kids would and wouldn't, and you wouldn't be surprised by the ones that do. They're the more dedicated kids. And I did see a couple girls last night, and I'm thinking, aren't you in the 100 fly?
Now,
shouldn't you be in the water warming up right now?
Right.
And I didn't say anything.
Well, Mill and Wright, when I was coaching, it was a requirement to get in.
Yes.
Everyone was required to get in during the breaks. But yeah, because it's always a good opportunity just to get in a little bit of extra, especially if you've been out of the pool. So yeah.
So let me do a little shout out here of some people. So coaches in the county, see Milton Wright, you have Travis Ruse, Erin Jackson, who you coached, and she swam with my daughter, Tyler Kozar. I think that's cool. It's 3 former swimmers from the school going back and giving back. And since your days and Terry Dunnigan and Debbie King and others, we've had a plethora of people go back and give back to the team. That's going to be the case with some of the other teams I mentioned too, but I don't know who all swam for the other schools. I do know in a couple cases. Bel Air is coached by Mac Plazankis, Nicole Muzzy, Janet Engelloff, and Lisa Salters.
Leslie Salters, I definitely know Leslie. Leslie is the Iron Woman of swimming. Long-time swimmer. You'll see her at a pool somewhere, anywhere. Loves talk about a distance swimmer. So, she's done a great job coaching for them this year. And Janet actually swam in high school. I think she was at Sea Milton or Bel Air.
Okay.
From what I remember back in the day. So yeah, another great person giving back.
So I showed my age and bias. I coached Lisa Salters, so that's why I wrote down Leslie Salters. So North Hartford Championship Girls team coaches Hillary Canali and Thea Papageorgopoulos. I always have trouble with that. Very great job on both of them. They really coached up their girls a lot this year, and even though their boys team is smaller, we've already seen some really good swims by the boys. Haverty Grace, one of the host teams along with Joppatown, guy I really admire a lot, Charlie Callahan, coaches the team there. He coaches the Aberdeen Penguins in the summer. Chance Bresna, she swam for Haverty Grace, another one giving back. Somebody I really enjoyed, and she used to do my volleyball clinic and some other things, and she always comes and says hi. Christina Backey, her kids swam for me at the college, and she asked her son Spencer, who's swimming tonight, do you remember Coach Ray? He's like, nah, because he was like 5 when he did the classes. He was like, okay. And then Seth Halsey, Seth's daughter Hazel is swimming, and his son is swimming, and I got him to coach with me at the college. And you know, it's one of those things that people try to hide, like I try to hide for years from doing things and just be dad. And I found out that he swam college at like Penn State or somewhere. Right. And I'm like, why are you not coaching? So now he's coaching. And I said, great, you're coaching high school now. And he said, my wife told me, he said, I kind of owe that to you because you got me to coach at college. And she said, my wife said, you're taking them to practice and staying there every time. Why not coach?
Might as well, right. That's great.
You know, so he says he's really enjoying it. Edgewood longtime coach Tiffany Silvestri, maiden name Dipole. She swam in the county, was a very successful swimmer, one of the long-term coaches that gives a lot to the sport. She also has Emily Bass coaching with her. Patterson Mill, I think these are alumni coaches, Kelly Lipscomb. And then we have Lily Somos and then Doretta Davies. I think Kelly swam, but I'm not sure.
I believe so, yes.
I know her brother Sean was a very good swimmer for them. Rising Sun, I met her last night. Ashley Neal, she swam college, she coached, and she came to the area, and she coached with the Y in Cecil County, and somebody recruited her, and she's doing a great job with the Rising Sun kids. Harford Tech, we have Amy Goodell, who has a son on the team. We have Amy Morgeris. We have Chad Leffler, whose daughter is one of the top swimmers in the county, and Jessica Numbers. Anytime you recognize one of these, jump in again. Drop down, we have Chris Bly and Karen Gonzalez. Chris is one of the longest tenured coaches. He's very involved with the state championship meet, and he kind of runs the state championship meet.
Chris gives a lot back to the sport.
Yes.
Harford County, definitely swimming owes him a lot. He is always on a pool deck somewhere, giving his time and energy, whether it be coaching or officiating. So, yeah.
And that's a lot of these coaches. So
a huge commitment.
Travis coaches summer swim. Charlie coaches summer swim. Chris coaches summer swim. And you see a lot. Doretta coaches summer swim. Chad Leffler, does he coach summer swim?
Karen Gonzalez.
Oh, Karen Gonzalez,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So Karen is ultimate cheerleader. She cheers for everybody.
Yes.
And I've had kids come up to me and go, "Who is that nice lady that's cheering for me?" And I said, "That's Karen Gonzalez, who I coached."
I think her shirt tonight says "Always cheering for everyone."
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
she's
awesome.
wonderful. And her father played softball with my father, and we've known each other for years. So for Aberdeen, we have Stephanie Wagenfeld and Nicole Thompson. Bel Air, Bow Manor, we have Jeff Kammerselt. And when I talk about these Cecil County teams, they kind of coach with each other. So I found out that they have 2 practice times at the Y. So 2 of the 4 teams practice together and so forth. And then we have Carolyn Miller for Falston.
Okay, so
you
Caroline,
and I both know.
yes, Towson alum, an awesome swimmer at Towson, coaches for Falston in the summer, coached at Fountain Green. I'm so glad to see her back on the pool deck.
And then I'm going to wrap up these 2 last couple teams, and we have a special guest visiting us. So we have Stacy Smith and Julian Marks coaching with Falston. Perryville is coached by Bob Enfield, who is another father of a swimmer. And then we have Patrick Line for Elkton. So lauding all the coaches. It takes so much time and dedication.
And especially with having to ride the bus. That is a huge time commitment that no other sport has. So shout out to all the coaches for all their hard work.
So Kathy's going to give her headsets up for a guest here. Gabby Rochu is going to come join us on the set here. Hey, Gabby, welcome to the telecast.
Hi.
So Gabby is a superstar sophomore?
Yeah, no, junior.
Junior, okay, at Havre de Grace High School. And Gabby, I invited her here as our star swimmer last night. We also had 2 other young ladies win 2 events. So Gabby won the 50 free and the 100 butterfly. Congratulations, Gabby.
Thank you.
So what did you think about both your races, and were you happy with those 2 choices for your events?
I was. I enjoyed both of those events a lot. Those are definitely my top swims.
Did you get best times in either of them last night?
I believe I got a best time in my 50 free, and I didn't get a best time in my 100 fly, but it was definitely one of my better swims.
So you, that 50 free, it's got to be a little nerve-wracking, because if you have really tough competition, start and turn means everything. Do you think your strength, and it's okay to say all of the above, do you think your strength is just your speed, or do you think your start or turn mean a lot to your success?
I think my start and turn definitely have a big impact on it, but I definitely think the power in it as well in those open waters are a big part as well.
So you won by over a second and a half. That's a big win in the 50 free. Our boys tonight was only 0.48 between the 2 first and second place swimmers. Do you want to swim those events in regionals and states, or are you thinking about something else?
No, those are definitely going to be my events in regionals and states as well.
So I'm friends with your coach, Charlie, and I told him when I was talking to him on the phone before the entries were even due and he was going to get me information for this, I said, Gabby's got to swim the butterfly. She's seated so much higher than that. And my co-host Kathy, she's a former champion in the butterfly also, and she loves that event. She said she loves the 50 fly even more than the 100 fly. Would you agree to that too?
Yes, I love the 50 fly.
Well, it shows your power, your speed, and all the abilities. So what did you think of your butterfly race? Did you feel like that was what you wanted out of it?
Yeah, I actually felt really good. I've been working on a little bit of a new technique with it, and it's definitely giving me more power and progression forward.
Well, you have very good turns. I'm very impressed with that. Now, I do see that your butterfly did come down to a close race.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so, I mean, Sophia's a very good butterflyer. I see you beat her by 0.76. So that was very, very good. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because we have some other races to call here, but congratulations on your success, congratulations on your team's success, and good luck in regionals and states.
Thank you so much.
Sure. So here we are with the 100 butterfly for the boys, and in our first heat, we only have two. We have Chris Sargent in lane 1 from Bel Air. We have Rafe Schmidt in lane 2 from Rising Sun, Tyler Sweat in lane 3 from C. Milton Wright, Avery Adams in lane 4 from Falston, Declan Crothers from Haverty Grace in lane 5, and Zion White from Edgewood in lane 6. So we have Tyler Sweat here in the lead, and Kathy, I know personally about this move because he was doing the IM, and Travis and his coaches saw that he did a 32-second split in just time trials at the beginning of the meet. He did the 107.27, so we have to see how
looks
that.
like a little bit of a time drop there.
Yes, and
hopefully he can move up a little bit into the next.
He only got to swim it once this year.
Right, talking about all of the cancellations and when did you swim it?
Yeah, well, let me let you introduce the next.
All right, here we go with Heat 2. So lane 1 is Vincent Nguyen of Hartford Tech. Lane 2, Samuel Chadwick of Haverty Grace. Lane 3, Joseph Sauer of Patterson Mill. Lane 4, Ian Merrill of Bel Air. Lane 5, Leon Gaijoka, Bel Air. And lane 6, Alex Guerrero of Patterson Mill.
So the team score after the 50 free was Aberdeen first with 101, C. Milton Wright second with 86, Haverty Grace third with 75, Patterson Mill was 70, Hartford Tech was 61. C. Milton Wright did not have a 50 freer. They only have 6 boys.
So this will be a good chance for them to make up. It doesn't look like Aberdeen has anybody in the 100 fly.
So you're going to see the score.
You'll see a little bit of that score go back and forth.
Now, back to Tyler Sweat, I got to tell you a funny thing, and I like giving anecdotes, so if you have any, please do. I asked him, I said, how do you feel about going from possibly doing the 200 AM to the 100 butterfly? He goes, oh, I'm fine doing 100 instead of a 200.
That sounds exactly like something that makes complete sense. Yeah, 100 sounds much better than the 200. We've got a lot of fans out there tonight, so
well,
it's like a really good attendance for this meet.
I also
here they go with lane 2 or heat 2.
I also laughed because the other boys didn't really want to swim the 100 butterfly, so they were kind of encouraging Tyler. They were volunteering him to do it. Yes.
And here we'll see some really good underwaters. Again, we talked about that red buoy marker there. That's what the officials are looking at to make sure that they come up and make sure that that swim is legal.
So Ian does have the top seed time by a significant amount. So I would think he'll...
Joseph.
Yep, I called him his brother's name. Okay, that's not hard to do. You and I have coached so many of these people. Did you coach Ian?
I had Ian and Joey at summer swimming, yes. They're on a different summer swim team now, but I know they're still doing an amazing job. And looks like Joey's having a really good swim. I don't know if he goes by Joey or Joe or Joseph now, but he's doing a really good job here in his 100 fly. He went out in a 25, so this looks like this is going to be a pretty good swim for him.
He's beating most of the 50 freers freestyle, and he's doing it in the fly. That's amazing.
And it is interesting, 50 free, 100 fly seems to go together, those sprint events. 56.09 is going to be the winning time. The record that was set in 2024, so 2 years ago, Cade Snyder, 48.04.
So it looks like everybody's dropping time, so that's good to see. So now we have the 100 freestyle. It's still a sprint, Kathy. It's still
Oh,
all
yes,
out.
that 100 free is definitely a sprint. There's some strategy involved on if you want to do a little bit more breathing. That 50 free, you want to try to breathe the least amount possible. 100 free, maybe, you know, for the boys, probably breathe in every 4 to 6 strokes. Definitely more ideal. You going to do heat 1?
Sure. We got J.K. Amoyeni from Falston in lane 2. We have Cole Taryn in lane 3. And we had Joseph Augustiniak in lane 4 from Edgewood and Joseph Hensley from Edgewood. Did you ask me to do the first heat because you saw some tough names in there, Kathy?
I'm not going to
God,
lie. I really
totally,
was looking ahead.
You played me there. Man, because I thought it was your turn.
Well, I also had a tough maiden name, so I can appreciate, you know, that. But yeah, I felt like that was more of your wheelhouse tonight.
Oh, it's really not. My cohort and boss, Don Morrison, is much better at pronouncing names than I am, and he practices them. So I'm like, please tell me I'm getting close to this, and I apologize in advance.
We do the best we can, and this is printed out, so hopefully we got everything correct. It's pretty clear, but you never know.
We went over this with some of the coaches, and they helped us with some names, but we do have hundreds of names to try to get right here, folks, so give us a little bit of slack if you can. So 100 free again, most kids' choices, most swimmers' choices. If you would ask them to pick what they want to swim, a lot of them are going to say 50 free, 100 free. And I've had so many times during the years, and I'm sure you have too, where you're like, okay, I know you like that event, but you know you're actually better at this other event.
Right.
And then you have to convince them.
Right. And sometimes you need to show them, like, this is where you would be if you
Yes.
were going to swim this. And,
Yes.
you know, 100 free, 50 free are typically the more popular events, so we are going to have more heats of this. You can see there were 6 heats of this tonight compared to the 100 fly, which was only 2 heats. And again, same thing in the 50 free. That was 6 heats. So definitely something you always want to consider when you're trying to, again, tonight is all about scoring points for your team. You want to do really well. It's a true team effort tonight. That's really what you're swimming for. So it comes down to what makes most sense for where can you get the most points.
That's our 200 IMer that moved up a lot from North Hartford. Cheering on his team. I like to see that.
And it looks like we do have Heat 2 coming up. So in lane 1 is going to be Ben Hess of Patterson Mill. Lane 2 is Aaron Adams of North Hartford. Lane 3 is Brody Holquist of Aberdeen. Lane 4, Miles Gustafson of Falston. Lane 5, Braden Hummel of Edgewood. And lane 6, Joseph Trinidad of Aberdeen.
So we I'm going to ask them to start giving us the results for the overall score too, because of those early DQs in the relay, this is going to be a tighter overall scoring than I thought it was going to be. Aberdeen is doing well in the boys, and they're leading right now, but they weren't high standings in the girls. C. Milton Wright is second right now, and they were 5th last night in the girls. Largely due to 1 DQ of a relay. Ask them if they can start adding the overall score too.
So looks like they're coming into the first wall. They're great flip turns there. Got lanes 3 and lanes 4 kind of battling it out. That is Brody and Miles. So Aberdeen and Falston. And again, Aberdeen, one of the teams that looks like they're really on pace to potentially win this evening.
So as we talked about, the team scores,
like it's very
Patterson
close
Mill
now,
jumped up to
close.
first with 102 after the butterfly. Aberdeen 101, C. Milton Wright 99, Havre de Grace 97. How close can you be?
That is incredibly close. And that's where it really matters. Again, you're scoring down, you know, your top 16. So everyone's individual effort really contributes in some way, because it looks like it could even be a point, or sometimes it could even be a half a point that's going to separate your champion from second place.
And we talked about swimming faster from the...
like that was Falston.
So what's
Miles Gustafson.
We're getting ready for Heat 3. Would be Everett Halsey, Coach Seth Halsey's son. In lane 1, Jack Wynn from Hartford Tech in lane 2. Mason Halter from Elton in lane 3. Julian Golovchuk in lane 4. Sean Asham from North Hartford lane 5. And Caden Miller from Falston in lane 6. So as I was saying, the swimming from the second fastest to third fastest heat matters. Tyler Sweat did move up and jumped a spot, and he got the 6th place for Seamount Wright. Vincent Nugent from Harford Tech, 5th. Then we have Samuel Chadwick from Haverty Grace in 4th. Leon Goka from Bel Air in 3rd. Ian Merrill from Bel Air in 2nd. And Joseph Sauer from Patterson Mill in 1st. So Patterson Mill had a 1st and a 7th. That's why you saw so much in their team jump in the standings there. So here we go. Let's see what we got.
4, it looks like, right?
No, I think this is the one I announced that they just haven't started yet.
Gotcha.
So they had somebody finishing or getting out of the water. So let's see. I mean, you're talking about the middle top 3 seeds, 2, 3, 4, within a second and a half of each other.
This is heat 3, it looks like.
So you don't see the deck as crowded as it used to be in the old days, Kathy.
I'm sure the officials do appreciate that.
They do. They changed the rule in that because so many people used to get out there, and now we have guards, folks. It's a person standing by the door checking deck passes from the swimmers and students and coaches, because the kids used to try to get out there as much as they can to cheer on their team, and we'd have a whole side of the pool filled. And the officials do not like that, and I don't blame them.
It is hard to navigate the deck while trying to officiate through people who are very excited and cheering as hard as they can for their teammates. But I know everybody who's out there, you can hear them. They are cheering everybody on. Looks like we got another great race. Lane 1 is coming up, but really lanes 3 and 4 really battling it out right here. So that's Mason and Julian. So Elkton and Harford Tech. It's going to be a very close race here, and even lane 1. So 105.91, 106.47. And you have a 106.49, so 0.02 between second and third in that heat. And we have heat 4 coming up, so lane 1 is Braden Jones of Bel Air. Looks like lane 2 is going to be open. Lane 3 is Alex Guerrero of Patterson Mill. Lane 4 is Shane Stradling of Haverty Grace. Lane 5 is Ben Montoya of Falston. Lane 6 is Neil Gupta of Elkton.
So this is where you're going to start to see people sneak into that top 16. You might even have the winner of the last heat sneak into the top 16 and score points for your team. As I said, North Hartford girls, the number 1 swimmers in each event did outstanding. They won 2 relays, but their second swimmers did wonderful. In the old days when Kathy and I coached, because we're not old, but we're older, okay? Can we just say it that way?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yes. They allowed all 4 of your entries to score.
Right.
And do you remember all the way back when you could have a B relay too?
Yes, and that could bump
scored?
somebody. Mm-hmm.
And when you had a team that was really deep, like your Falston girls teams were good, but you had those years of those boys teams that were really good. They won state championships.
Right.
They could put together a B relay that
could easily score.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we were talking about this recently, and I was talking with Jamie and Maggie, not Gallagher, but Natalia. We were like, you had girls at Seamount Wright that you could have put together a second medley relay, and they could have finished second or third.
100%.
And back in the old days, they rewarded that depth. So ironically, last night, Thea said, when I said, you're seeded to win, and I think you're going to win, she goes, don't jinx us, Ray. And and then she goes, but I wish they allowed all 4 to score.
Right.
Because she said, then I'd very confidently say we could win. And that depth did matter, but the third swimmer matters, because every once in a while, the second swimmer gets sick or injured.
Something will happen.
Or a DQ.
Yeah, 100%.
And that person slides in and scores. Good swim.
That was a 59.25. Definitely a good time drop there. That was Shane Stradling in lane 4 from Haverty Grace.
And that's key because he is somebody that could move up and help score. So now in heat 5, we have Jacob Baller from Rising Sun in lane 1, Ryan Hughes from Patterson Mill in lane 2, Alex Park from Aberdeen in lane 3, Braden Leeson from Bel Air in lane 4, Tyler Tran from Seamount Wright in lane 5, and Jonah Buckelman from Haverty Grace in lane 6. Jonah and a couple other young men from Seamount Wright, this is the first one they're doing here. They're honoring
some of
seniors.
the seniors. Yeah. So they will bring them up on the block, and then they will be talking about kind of what they've done in their swimming career, their academic career, and then maybe what they're going to be doing in the future, as this will be their last county champion, well, UCBAC championship meet.
I know, I still say that
I
too.
still say county
Yes.
championship.
So I have a hard time with that. And then that's Jacob Baller. And the reason they're doing that is 4 teams missed
Their
senior night.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
The coaches asked if they could do this, and Debbie and the others running the meet said yes. And this was a nice way to do it. It didn't take up much time. They didn't have to disrupt the meet. So
Oh, they're getting back down off the block for a second. There must be something that they want to check. You heard the official say step down.
and this is nerve-wracking for swimmers.
Oh, yes.
So
There's nothing worse than getting ready and then being told, hold on, you got to wait. So, you know, swimming is a lot of waiting to get up on the block to do your thing. So when you have that happen, it's not easy, but you just got to regroup. Sometimes you would even do that in practice, you know, coaching-wise. You put them in that situation so that they know what that's going to feel like. I know as coaches we do a lot of drills to try to get them ready for that, so I'm sure hopefully they'll be ready to go here.
Well,
Heat 5.
one of the girls that we know said something to us before the meet. They were like, oh, why'd that have to happen? I was ready to step up or jump in the water, and they had to do that. 2-minute delay. I said, well, didn't you drop 2 seconds?
Right.
So it didn't obviously mess you up.
You should ask for a delay every time.
That's right. Oh, look at this
Wow,
lane going
lane
out
2
there.
is really going out. So that is another Patterson Mill swimmer. So that's Ryan Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it looks like, so he was entered with a 59.15. Definitely looks like he's going to be on pace for a much faster swim than that, out in 24.8.
This doesn't surprise me, Kathy. He's an outstanding swimmer, and he has other events he could have done instead of this. But the coaches said, Ian's doing the 50. I mean, Joseph is doing the 50 and 100. We need somebody to score points in this event.
Right.
And here he goes, and I bet you he'll bump up. And not just this heat, but the next heat he'll probably beat some times.
Yeah, so here
Wow,
he is
this is
coming
going
into
to
the
be
wall. So he's going to be a 52,
this is going to be, this might go all the way up to
52.24.
second place in the race. Let's see if that bumps him all the way up to the podium. I think it will.
All right, we have Heat 6, Aiden Knapp of Hartford Tech in lane 1, Tanner Carson of Hartford Tech in lane 2, Gavin Rogers in lane 3 of Bow Manor, Cameron Ellis in lane 4. Lane 5 is Ryden Grimm of Haverty Grace, and lane 6 is Gavin Billings of North Hartford.
So, obviously, like another race he did, Gavin Rogers is seated fairly heavily here. Let's see if he can break 50 seconds, Kathy. He broke the other threshold he wanted to earlier.
Yeah.
But I want to
So
see
he's
where that
entered with
Ryan
that
Hughes
50.
time holds up.
It might just definitely that swim from Heat 5 by Ryan, about 2 seconds faster than the second place entry time. So we'll see where they land here.
Now, I'll tell you
Looks like
this.
Gavin's out pretty quick.
Patterson Mill is just like Sea Mountain Wright. They have a small boys team, but very talented.
Right.
So I'm going to give
Out in the
those teams
23.
kudos ahead of time that if they finish in the top 3, 4 in team standings with the small amount of swimmers they have, that's outstanding.
Really a lot of strategy involved.
Oh, he's out, man. Look at this. I don't know if I can walk up and down a deck as fast as he swims, Kathy.
I don't know, not anymore.
I definitely would pull
I
something.
think he's going to, yep, we're
Look at
under
that.
48. Yep, 48-47.
Wow.
Great swim by Gavin.
You know what?
And second
That's-
place was 53-44. So, yes, so our Heat 5 looks like our second place. As long as that's a good swim, he'll be moving up. And he'll be making the podium.
Very good, very good. So now we have our distance swim of the meet, the 500 freestyle. Our first heat is going to be Liam Abbey, and he's from Rising Sun. He's in lane 2. And we have Caden Luan from North Hartford in lane 3. We have Carson Scheller and Falston in lane 4. And we have Xavier Bonroll from Edgewood in lane 5. Again, we have 3 heats of this. And going back
20
to
laps of the pool.
Oh, gosh. And then you do want them to do an open turn on every one. A flip turn on every one. And don't you want some long streamlines off of each wall.
Oh, yeah, long streamlines, though. The only thing you have to be careful with is, that oxygen deprivation. You want it because it is a long swim.
Right.
Trying to make sure that you're not too long underwater because
Right.
it could come back to get you in the end. You'll see the counters at the other end. I think they just had a shot of that when they were down at the other end. So for a swim this long, you want somebody to count your laps for you. So you'll see that on every odd lap. When they get to their final lap, so 19, you'll see a red marker. They'll flip that to red so that they know that's it. And that would be their last 25. You'll also hear a bell when they're on their last 50. So definitely helpful. I would probably lose count. Thankfully, I didn't have to swim this very much. But always really enjoy watching a good 500 because, again, it is one of those events where it is, it's mid-distance. Really have to make sure you're kind of strategizing on how you want to swim it. And it's interesting to see how some of the strategy kind of plays out.
Well, you also have people who definitely try to do the psychological game. You're midway through the race. You're not feeling perfectly great, but you're feeling good enough. And you might think, I can't out-sprint that person in the 50. So I'm going to put a little spurt on right here. Mm-hmm. And they do this in distance running as well. And you try to break them. You try to say, I'm going to do a 75 or 100 a little bit faster. And as the other person is going into the turn, I'm going to take off of the turn. They can't see me for a second. I'm going to get a good push, good streamline, and I'm going to pick it up. And they might not even catch sight of me if they're 5 yards behind me. Good shot of some young ladies cheering on their teammates. Good outfit there. I like it.
North Harford representing there at the end of the lane.
Yeah. So I'm
probably cheering on lane 2, Caden.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about something you know about, Kathy, because your father did this. Talk about our officials, and you might have a little bit of maybe a more idea than me of what they do. So our deck referee is Tom Matisek. Our starter is Brad Pennington. Our chief judge is Paul McHenry. Then I think these are just regular officials: Sarah Rosner, Todd Rosner, Renee Zidal, Kyle Phillips. And then we had Eric Schneider was here last night, and Kim Rosewery is here tonight. What's the deck referee's job? Do you know?
So the deck referee is going to be there kind of to enforce, what's going on at the starting end of the pool.
Right.
To kind of manage the officials. The starter is going to obviously be the person who's starting the swimmers and is looking for any false starts, any flinches, anything where they would maybe need to make sure that everybody is getting that fair start. And then your chief judge, so Paul McHenry, awesome chief judge. He's been doing this for a really long time, gives up a lot of time, to do these events. So he's going to be your interpreter of your rules. So if anybody is challenging something or protesting something in the meet, there is an entire rule book of all of the rules of swimming that the coaches have. So you can, as a coach, if you feel like something has happened or occurred and you want to challenge it, whether it be a disqualification or something that you've seen, that would be the person that's going to make the rules interpretation. And typically we'll be working with the deck referee as well, on that, whatever that issue that might come up and challenging of the rules. And then you have your stroke and turn officials, which are the officials that you're going to see walking along the side of the pool in the white. They are making sure that all the strokes are legal. So everybody kind of has their role that they play to make sure that, everything is fair and in compliance with what the rules are, to make sure that the swims are legal.
So if I'm correct, sometimes you have officials at the end of the pool and they're watching the turn. Mm-hmm. And you have people who are, you can see right there in the top middle, you see an official standing there and they're watching turns. I would imagine one is watching the 3 lanes closest to them, and then another one's on the other corner watching the lanes.
Yeah, and
3 lanes close
they'll
to them.
decide coverage depending
Okay.
upon how many there are. I did a very short stint on officiating because, you always have to step up when they are in need of people. It is a very long process. Many of these officials are not only high school certified, but they're also certified through USA Swimming. There's a whole process, tests and everything that are involved. So it's a big time commitment for somebody to be an official, but it is such a critical part of the meet. And especially if you're a parent, it's a great way to get involved and to be on deck if you have any experience at all in swimming. But yeah, you have to really monitor what your area is. And even if there's empty lanes, they're not supposed to be just looking at the lanes where the swimmers are in, because you want to make sure it's fair, whether there's 6 swimmers in the lane or whether there's only 3. You want to make sure you're giving everybody that fair opportunity, so you're not like, zeroing in on one lane or another. So that's something that can be a little bit challenging. You will see during the freestyle events, the turn officials are standing typically on the side. When they're doing strokes, they'll actually be at the end of the pool to make sure those touches are legal.
Well, I say this on all my telecasts for every sport. When I'm filling in for Don or with Don, it's a thankless job. I was talking to somebody the other night, and they were saying that their husband was refereeing, and I knew their husband because he refereed in my leagues that I ran, travel basketball and high school basketball. I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many things to call in basketball. And people that are just in the stands thinking, well, you missed that violation. Well, they're watching 5 different things, and so are these officials. So you'll notice the names, Kathy. It's a lot of people that swam or their kids swam. Sarah Rosner coached. She swam, she coached, and she gave up coaching, so she's giving back by officiating.
Right.
Mr. Pennington, daughter swam. Other daughters are swimming. Paul McKendry's daughter swims. Younger daughter swims in summer swim. So it's kind of like it's a whole village.
Oh, no, for sure it is. And it's, if you have any experience in swimming, or even if you don't, and, it's a great way to kind of see firsthand what's going on deck. You typically will start as a stroke and turn official. When you get some more experience, then you move up to deck referee and then starter. And obviously chief judge is normally your most experienced official. But it is definitely one of those jobs that is thankless. Hopefully they know how much they're appreciated. You can't run a swim meet without them. So thank you to all the officials out there. And it looks like second place went to lane 4. So that was Carson Schiller from Falston. We got everybody starting to come in here. And you heard that bell on that last 50. So we'll hear that again. It is a long race.
I certainly wouldn't want to do it. I used to do lap swimming like you do, but you do it much better. And I would try to swim like a mile, which is either 76 laps or 72 laps. I forget which one it is.
66.
66. Oh, well, then I was swimming more than a mile.
So they always say
accident.
road mile would be 72, but technically in swimming that 1650 is what I would say we consider a mile. Right. So I'll go with 66 laps.
Yeah, I had many breaks in mine.
That's okay.
I'm just saying. But I did do it. So I'm going to dish out some other information I have here for some people. So I got some more results here. And so Havre de Grace, I have some captains here. Captains for Havre de Grace are Grabby Brochu, Alex Ryan for the girls, Shane Stradling for the boys. For Hartford Tech, Tanner Carson is the boys captain along with Aiden Knapp. And then for Falston, Theo Kidwell is the boys captain, and the girls captains are Maddie Birch, Emma Fosenbaker, Maddie Hoyer, who and Jenny Phillips. For Elkton, our captains are Carolyn Pennington, James Estep. I'll get to this next heat in 1 second. North Hartford, Sophia Bonacontri, Kendall Chandler, and Ava Sealy are captains. So just trying to shout out some captains because that's an important job as well.
That is leadership on the deck and at practice.
Yeah, so for this heat we have Cedric Keener from Patterson Mill in lane 1. We have Maxwell Cullison from Hartford Tech lane 2. Shavayam Thacker from Aberdeen lane 3. Shane Whaley from North Hartford in lane 4. Porter McGill from Bel Air in lane 5. And Indy Panchura in lane 6 from St. Milton Wright. I coached Porter years ago and his sister Marilyn Goff. You're going to see, I think, some, even without the practices, the reason we're seeing some big time drops for some people is because they swam this earlier in the season and they haven't swam it since then, because coaches like to move kids around, give them some different events, and go from there. So let's see here if anybody is going to try to steal the race from the outside in, or if it's just going to be our top seeds from the middle leading the way.
Looks like we have 4 and 5 having a pretty good race. So that's Shane Willie and Porter McGill starting out that first 100. And I get lane 2 hanging in there.
Yeah.
Again, try to see the strategy. A lot of distance swimmers don't really use their legs a whole lot to start the race, but you'll see them kind of use a little bit more of that as they get into that last 100. Really, that last 50, it's critical. Make sure you're doing a nice strong kick, but not as important as we're looking at the 500 free. It definitely seems to be one of those events where you'll see kids not necessarily need to pull full power into their legs from the start. It looks like we have lane 4 coming in here at the 150 mark. So we're 6 laps in, so it's a 141.60.
Yeah, we have
A
three
little bit
people.
more to go.
We have 3 people ahead of our top seed from this heat. So interesting to see, can they maintain that pace?
Right.
Because sometimes you see people steal races and you think, wow, they really did a great job. And other times you see people try to steal the race, but they might have gone out too fast. In the 200 and 500 free last night, I probably saw a 50-50. I saw about 6 girls drop a ton of time, and I think the girls swimming against them thought, well, they can't keep that pace up, and they did.
Right.
But then I also saw some go a little beyond their, you shouldn't be doing your fastest 50 free time in the first 50 of a 200 free.
No,
That's going to get you.
definitely you may have a little bit of a
Yes.
challenge there with that
Yes.
pain level. But yeah, it looks like they're doing a great job. So you're looking for those nice smooth strokes, kind of keeping that consistent tempo. So to the point of, how much are they actually working? And you're looking for that really nice efficient stroke. So if somebody is looking like they're swimming a 50 freestyle, you might start to get a little bit nervous. But everybody in this heat looks like they're kind of keeping their consistent pace for what they're trying to accomplish. And it's always really important to try to get those best times. That's what you talk to your swimmers about is, trying to make sure you're doing your best, whatever that looks like on that day.
So looking at the 100 free results, and I don't know if I announced the 500 free results, did I?
I don't believe so.
So that's the wrong gender, so I will find the boys' results here. So 500 free.
We're
Did
on
I do the 100
500
free?
right now, so I don't
No, what am I
think we
saying?
did the 100 free yet.
Okay, I think I announced the fly because I did mention
did,
Joseph.
yes.
So in 6th place, we have Ryden Graham from Haverty Grace. Aiden Knapp from Harford Tech was 5th. Tanner Carson from Harford Tech was 4th. Cameron Ollis from Perryville was 3rd. Ryan Hughes did slide up there, like we said, from the second fastest heat and went all the way up to 2nd place. Dropped 7 seconds. And then Gavin Rogers with a brilliant 58.47 was 1st place. The team standings after the 100 free, Patterson Mill is still in 1st place with 123 points. Haverty Grace is 2nd with 116. Then we've got Aberdeen with 113. Then we have Seamilton Wright with 108 and Harford Tech with 104. Top 5 is 21 points apart.
Wow.
So,
and looking at this 500 free, it doesn't look like Patterson Mill. They have 1 swimmer swimming this event for them. So be curious to see how this goes. See the coaches on the side. You'll definitely see them really doing a little bit more coaching at this point. So you have about 125 left. This is kind of critical time where you'd like to see a little bit more kick put into it. So we're, again, about another 4 laps to go from our leader with a 4:55.48. See how he can hold on. You can see he's picking up his tempo a little bit in his stroke rate. Hasn't quite put his legs into it yet.
So these last 2 relays are going to be big for the team standings when we get to the last set of the meet. That's going to be a big, big deal because I don't know everybody. Like you saw what Patterson Mill got out of the 50 free and the 100 free and the fly. But like you said, they don't have anybody in this meet event, I think you said.
They have 1 swimmer, it looks like, and that swimmer is in the pool right now in the lane 1.
Okay. And then you have I don't know if does Aberdeen have a swimmer in this event.
Aberdeen has lane 3 in the pool right now.
Okay.
This is a North Hartford swimmer coming in. This is Shane Willie.
Yes.
And this is his final 25. You can see, look there, he's really starting to kick and try to really make sure he's bringing it home.
He's having a great
He
race.
looks like he's going to drop some time here. Again, trying to sneak in, see if he can bump some of those other swimmers from the other heat.
Well, keep
that
in mind,
great finish,
his girls
6:10.
won last night, and the boys are trying to see how they can add points to this to contend for the team title.
Right.
So we haven't gotten the combined results yet, folks, but I'm hoping we do for some other events coming up, so that Kathy and I don't have to do quick math.
Yeah.
So-
Do we have a calculator? So we have heat 3 coming up, it looks like.
Is this
This will be
mine or
the
yours?
final heat. You can go ahead on this one.
Okay. Well, she didn't see tough names this time.
I didn't. I'm going to give you a break
You were
here.
just being kind. We have Tyler Kirby from lane 1 from Sea Mountain Right. We have Anthony Free from Haverty Grace in lane 2. And we have Ian Merrill in lane 3 from Bel Air. We have Logan Enfield from Perryville in lane 4. We have James Estep in lane 5 from Elkton. And we have Gabrielle Rios. And we do have some twins and triplets here.
Wow.
So I think the Esteps are just siblings because he's a senior and his sister was one of the stars of the meet last night. I'll have to see if I can find that. Tyler Kirby being honored right now, folks.
Yes, glad to see Tyler in his senior year back in the pool. They are going over all of his many accomplishments throughout his swim career. And
Yeah, they
his
name way
academic
too many
career.
compared to when I was there, you know.
They're
like,
lots of great student athletes.
Yes.
Amazing what some of these kids can accomplish.
Swimmers are some of the best well-rounded kids in sports. I don't mean to be biased, but like when you look at the NHS and honors and stuff, it's filled with swimmers. And I think there's something about the sport that you have to have good discipline to do these tough practice hours, get your schooling done. You have to be disciplined.
Yeah, that time
blow it up.
management is a very key piece here. I'm looking at, this is probably one of the older records that is still in existence, and that was from 2004, Corey Knopp with a 4:37.05. I don't know that we're going to see that fast of a time today, but 2004. Can't wait to see how this race is going to shape up.
So
Looks like Ian's taking it out.
you have such differences in seed times, and it looks like a lot on paper, but 13 seconds in 20 laps is not a lot of time.
Right.
So the thing about this compared to, 50 you're just sprinting, but think of something like 100 or 200 and you try to be pulled along by the lane next to you, you have to tell yourself, so like you have Gabriel Rios in lane 6 here, and his time is 12 seconds behind James Estep, but he's swimming with them right now. So you have to tell yourself, I can swim with them. So I'm curious to see what's happening between Tyler Kirby and Anthony Free on the other side. And here we are right here in lane 1 and 2, and they're fairly close together. So it's a game of cat and mouse.
It really is. And again, just try to figure out, what is that pace that's going to work for you. You don't want to get too caught up in what the other swimmer's doing, but you also don't want to get too far behind.
Right.
Looks like Ian's got a really nice long stroke. He's already kicking a little bit, but he looks super efficient. Good turn. You'll see a little bit of that dolphin kick off of the wall. Again, not too long in these 500s because you don't want to run out of air too quickly and go into that oxygen deprivation. But yeah, and you'll see it looks like lane 4's sticking right with him.
Yeah.
One of the things in these distance races too, and we always tell the swimmers, is to make sure you try to swim in the middle, especially if you're out ahead, because you will have the other swimmer who will try to draft off of you. So that means they're trying to kind of catch your current a little bit. It actually will pull you back. It's a hard thing to undo because in practice you're swimming circles. So for those non-swimmers out there, when you get into a pool for practice, you are expected to swim in a circle. So it means you're going up one side and down or back the other. So that's sometimes a hard habit to break when you're trying to swim at a meet and you want to go straight and stay away kind of from that drafting that might happen.
So you have Logan Enfield really trying to stay with Ian here. And I coached Logan at Harford Community College. He used to do my swim classes for years. And whereas I might have had some kids that were like there because their parents weren't there, Logan wanted to be there. He wanted more yardage. He wanted to be pushed. And even though it was swim classes, he was one of my examples of good athletes who wanted to be trained because they didn't do club or year round. You see up here in lane 5, James Estep is not letting Logan get away from him either.
Well, and he's a senior too, so you have 2 seniors here, Ian as well as James. So there is some, I think, a little bit extra motivation to try to, really push through, try to make sure you get on the podium. Again, it's going to be your last time competing for your team at this meet. So you can see actually lane 5 is really picking it up. Look at that kick. Got a nice whitewater kick going, and he's halfway into this race, and he looks like he is definitely trying to make a move here.
Well, I think he has one more motivation we haven't talked about. His sister won 2 championships last night, so
well,
maybe he
that's
wants
the motivation right there.
Yeah, he wants to be able to have bragging rights with his sister and say, well, I got one too. So, but look at this. We got a 4-team race here.
Yeah, this is definitely lane 2's coming back.
Yes.
And again, this could be really anybody's race. This is definitely that point where you're going to want to try to start making your move. Don't want to wait too long. They are all pretty much right together, which is really interesting given, again, where we kind of were on the seed times. They almost all flipped at the same time. So 3:55.87. Lane 4 had a little bit of an edge, but I don't think it was too significant. Looks like lane 5 is trying to come back. Always interesting, too, to see who has those really good turns.
Yeah.
And then who kind of maybe is a little bit better above the water.
That was a very good turn there in lane 4. Logan got a good breakout. Now, you'll see some people gain a quarter or a half a body length on a turn. But then you'll see somebody else between the flags outswim people.
Right.
So there's so many different strengths and weaknesses that come into this that it's amazing.
And lane 2 is really trying to make a move here. He was actually first. So that is Anthony Free of Haverty Grace. Yeah. I don't know that they can see him out there. And when we talk about breathing, there was a little extra breath there. But good turn. You can see lane 4 is really turning his kick on. But I don't think he can see lane 2. And it looks like lane 2 hasn't necessarily put their kick into it yet. You hear the bell. So this is it. 2 laps to go. Looks like it's going to be between lane 2 and lane 4. Lane 5 is still hanging in there.
Yeah, this
really,
is where
really
that
tight race.
Lactic acid is kicking your muscles butt right now.
Right.
Your shoulders and your legs are feeling it.
Sometimes you're swimming with heart.
Yes.
Lane 2 looks like they were still in the lead. So that, again, is Anthony Free of Haverty Grace. But we do have Logan and James coming home here. But I think lane 2 is going to hold on for the win.
Great time,
so
too.
Fantastic. 5:38.82. We had third place with lane 5, 5:40.22, and lane 4 was second place. So great swimming by everybody.
Yeah, they and those points matter because Haverty Grace is vying for the boys' team title, and that's a big chunk of points for them right now that Anthony Free just got them. I talked to him last night because I coached an Anthony Free in soccer, and I said, "Is your dad's name Anthony?" He goes, "No." I said, "Do you know any people in your family?" We have a big family. My dad has a lot of cousins in the county, so I could have a relative. A really nice young man, and he just stole a race there by really attacking it.
Oh, he's very excited. Really good sportsmanship there. You can see everybody's congratulating. Swimmers know how hard everybody works. So, you try to do your best on race day. But there is really that, sportsmanship amongst all the swimmers because everybody knows, again, how hard each other works. The sport is grueling. Really can't take a day off if you, are really trying to go for it. You will feel it if you are off a day or a few days is definitely almost like a week.
Well, and the thing is, I just saw Tyler Kirby get out of the water, and he finished 5th place. He swam well.
He did.
He did not swim poorly. It's just that 3 people in front of him swam way faster than they were supposed to.
Right, and sometimes that
You
yeah,
can't
that
do anything about
happens.
that.
Yeah, you got to swim your race, and he got the points that needed for the team.
Yes. So we're getting ready to do some more awards here. We have a last set of 4 coming up. 200 free relay, 100 backstroke, 100 breaststroke, and 400 free relay. Some people are doing 2 or 3 of those events.
That's a lot at the end.
Yes. And it depends on your team, because if your team needs you to do that, then that's what you need to do.
Yep.
So right now we have them announcing the last events, and Ian pulled a weird double there, Kathy. He did the 100 free and the 500 free. That's
a
hard
lot.
to do.
Yep.
So according
He
to
is
this,
rushing up there. He literally just got out of the pool.
so what we have here is the 500, the 100. Let me see. We started with
100
the
fly?
100 fly.
I think that's 100
So we had I finally found it. So third place there was Leon Goka, and then you had Ian Merrill from Bel Air, and then you have Joseph Sauer for first place. That does describe a little bit why Ian wasn't quite on his 500 time, because that's a tough double.
Oh, that is very tough.
I mean,
well, and that's one of the things strategy-wise too. You know, how do you
Yes.
want them to swim? Is that turnaround time going to be enough? Are they going to have enough rest in between?
yes.
And sometimes you just don't have a choice. They just have to do it.
So I was wrong. Ian did the 100 fly, but he had the 100 free in between, but there wasn't a ton of heats of that.
No.
And there wasn't a ton of heats of the 500. And if you really think about that 100 butterfly is tough.
Oh, yes.
And there was no time to warm down those
in between,
muscles.
right?
I mean, the best you can really do is some arm stretches and stuff, and that's about it.
Yeah, great swims. And this looks like your 100 freestyle winner. Dad's getting a selfie there with Gavin Rogers.
Thank you, gentlemen. Please
So if you can call these next 2 top 3s for me when they do that.
I am hoping that I have the information. It looks like, I don't know if we're doing the 500 yet. Are we
No,
doing the 500?
that'll be to us in a
Okay.
minute, but we might be able to hear them and remember it. I know that we had,
I think that was the 100 free?
they might have just announced it. Yeah, they already
They
announced the
are going
100
to do
free.
the 500 free now.
So the 100 free was Gavin Rogers first, Ryan Hughes second, and Cameron Ollis third. And they just announced Tyler Kirby
Tyler
fifth.
Kirby for 5th. Ian Merrill in 4th place.
in 3rd place from Elton High School, James Estep.
James Estep in 3rd place, making the podium.
Yeah, that one.
In 2nd place from Perryville High School, Logan Enfield.
Logan Enfield from Perryville.
And they're
in
friends. They're
2nd
friends.
place, yes.
That's really good.
Happy Grace High School, your 2026 UCBAC champion is AJ Free from
AJ Free from Haverty Grace High School with a 5:38.02. Takes the top spot on the podium there in 1st place. Everybody looks really happy after that long 20-lap swim. We're going to be getting into the 200 free relay.
So I'm
I
going to
think we have a
ask.
little bit of a break still so they can kind of warm down.
So I'm waiting for the North Hartford coaches from last night to come here. So hopefully they're coming soon, unless they just don't come because they're too busy coaching. But we wanted to give them a chance to interview and say how proud they were of their team last night and all that kind of stuff. So so I do have the results after the 500 free. And again, Gabriel Rios was 6th, Tyler Kirby was 5th, Ian Merrill was 4th, James Estep was 3rd, and then I think that last picture of those 2 was the siblings. I think that was the Estep young
Esteps,
boy.
yep, it
Yeah,
looks
they
like it,
were.
yeah.
Yes. Look at them getting a little brother-sister camera time there. That was smart. So look at this team battle. Right now, in 5th place, Hartford Tech with 115. C. Milton Wright with 126, Patterson Mill with 129, Aberdeen with 133, and Havre de Grace with 136.
And really interesting going into the relay. So right now it looks like Aberdeen is seated first. And then you have followed by Hartford Tech, Patterson Mill, and then Havre de Grace. So to your point, it's still going to be pretty close even after the relays if those all go as planned. And you just don't know. We've seen some great swims tonight. You know, who's going to really step up. Sometimes they'll mix up the relays, so some of these entry times may be completely different than what we're going to actually see. So it should be really exciting as we get into the next event and kind of the home stretch of the meet.
Yes, we are. And looking ahead also, besides the relay, you have like who has what in the backstroke. So Aberdeen has Justin Eng in the backstroke, highly seeded. Excuse me, I got the hiccup there, folks. In the breaststroke, you've got 2 swimmers from C. Milton Wright in the top 6. So that's
Aberdeen,
impactful for them.
looks
And
like
then Aberdeen with the top seed. And then when you come into the 400 free relay, you got Harvard Tech and Bel Air and Havre de Grace and C. Milton Wright, Aberdeen, all in the top 8. So this is going to come down to the wire. We were talking about this the other night, me and a couple other coaches, and we were saying, you've seen this, how fun it is to go into the 400 free relay and know that they can decide to meet.
Yeah, no, that is huge. And you'll see some amazing swims when that is actually the case, because if that's what it's going to come down to, you'll see swimmers swim faster than you've ever seen them swim in their life. And you're like, where did that come from?
Yes.
But that motivation of trying to do it for your team, and it's not just for you in that moment, can really push you, you know, to just do some amazing swims.
I've had so many people, swimmers, come up to me and runners in track and field and say, how did I swim or run that fast? And I said, you did it for your teammates. And there's a little bit of pressure. I started a Johnstown High School Alumni Association, and we have a Hall of Fame, and I was lucky enough to be inducted into it. And I told in my speech, I said, I thank my coaches, because I think it's important for every athlete to thank their coaches. And I said, my coach put me last in the 4x200 relay in indoor track, and we won the state championship. I wasn't the fastest, but he knew I ran fast or scared.
Right.
So
don't let anybody down. Go as fast as you possibly can.
Unfortunately, Mr. Bishop is no longer with us, but I said, and Mr. Bishop, pointing to this guy, I was scared. I will admit it. So some people, like, they run or swim in fear. And again, they're like, I've only ever swam a 26-second 50 free, and I swam a 23 high in the relay. I'm like, well, the relay exchange counts too, but you were really digging. And then I say, so swim like that in the regular race.
Right.
So
100%.
So yeah, you just do. I mean, and you don't think about the pain as much when you're in a relay. Now, sometimes people do, again, question, why am I swimming this stroke in the medley relay instead of this one? And you have to explain to them that this person is 2 seconds faster than you in the butterfly, but they're 3 seconds faster than you in the backstroke.
Right. So
So
it just depends.
mathematically-
Yeah. What's going to make the most sense for the fastest time overall for the
Well, and
relay.
here's the thing. Now the computer does it for you.
Right.
Back in the old days.
Oh, it was by hand.
Yes, we had to sit there and do, again, math. And now
Right.
you're doing time math. It's even different than regular math.
100%.
So now people were like, what do you mean, Ray Hurst? That sounded really dumb. It is different because you're not talking just 100th of something. You're talking about 60 seconds, and you're talking about,
Trying to calculate that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, I had many a time where I sat there with a piece of paper and 6 different swimmers, and I wrote down all of their times in the 4 strokes, and I was like, okay, what is the best order for that? You and I have done that before with C. Milton Wright. And now, I don't know how much strategy went into this, Kathy. You used to have fun doing lineup strategy, and I did too, and we did some together. And, I go back to one of the state championships when Polesville was surprised with the moves we made with some of our top swimmers. And they were like, how do you not have this one in that relay? Because you thought we were going to put him in that relay.
Right.
You didn't
exactly.
put your
You
best
didn't
relay
anticipate
together.
that's what was going to happen.
And
so,
now we moved them
there's
to
a
the
lot of
other 2
strategy.
relays, and then we win those 2.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yes, it's more strategy than people think. Same thing with track and field. Track and field, the rules are a little bit different because you don't have the limit on events. You can put somebody in for relays or for individual events.
Right.
But here we are with the first heat of the 200 free relay. Where are we at here?
It looks like Elkton in 2, Bel Air in 3, Falston in 4, and Edgewood in 5.
And so Bel Air is in a situation where they did not make the fast heat, but their times are very close to fast heat teams. So they need to win this heat in their mind and get a really good time. But already we have another
Well, Elkton, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
And again, you go back to, are these the swimmers that actually swam this time? So this is the team
Yes.
entry time.
Yes.
And you can list 2 swimmers as an alternate. So even if you decide, on a day you're going to make some moves, that's an opportunity to do that.
They did my move I was talking about. I forgot to say that the relay I ran on had the state championship in it, runner in it. So we put him first to get us the lead.
And then let
everybody else run. They put Bo Camerits first and he got them the lead. Now the question is, can they hold on? That was a very close start there, and the official making a note there, so I hope he didn't leave too early. But Bo would normally be the anchor. But let me see if Bo is swimming
Looks
the...
like they have Neil Gupta. So yeah, is Bo swimming?
He's swimming the backstroke.
So give him as much rest as
Yes.
possible.
Yeah, so that gives them folks like another minute and a half of rest, and you might not think that matters, but that can matter.
No, it definitely does. And each of these swimmers is going to be doing a 50 freestyle. So pretty quick relay. There's another good exchange. Again, the officials are standing there to make sure that they can confirm that nobody left early. And looks like here comes Bel Air, and that is Porter McGill trying to chase down the Elkton team in lane 2. They're almost even there at the turn. 50 free is always a little bit tough too. You want to stay underwater, but not too long, especially again if you're better up on top of the water, off of those walls. And it looks like it is going to be Bel Air here.
Yeah, he came back very nicely. Good job, Porter.
That's a 150.23. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye out for that again for that next heat.
So Bel Air won the boys team championship last year, and they won the overall also. And then Seamount Wright won the girls championship last year. And Porter was very funny because he knows me because I coached him, and he was over there by me, and I was getting the results. And he's coming over when he's not swimming, and he had a deck pass. He's like, "Are we going to win, coach? Or is my team going to win?" And I was like, "Why aren't you asking your coach?" He goes, "Well, you have the results, so you know." Now, he was so excited about the possibility, and they did. They did win. So people don't think the team part matters to these kids, but it does.
Right. I think sometimes even more. That school pride that you get when you can say your school is the one that won the championship. Yep.
So as we have the Edgewood swimmer finishing here, I will start to announce the next heat. In heat 2, we're going to have Seamount Wright in lane 1, Patterson Mill in lane 2, Aberdeen in lane 3, Harford Tech in lane 4, Havre de Grace in lane 5, and North Hartford in lane 6. So your top time is Aberdeen. And they are fast. And they have 4 fast boys, Brian Eng, Gabriel Rios, Justin Eng, and Alex Park. But even though that time is 5 seconds apart, Kathy, or 4.5 seconds, I'm not going to sell Patterson Mill short on this one.
We have Ryan Hughes, Mikey Pape, Alex Guerrero, and Joey Sauer swimming, so that's going to be definitely a pretty close relay, I think.
So you will see here that Kathy refuses to call him Michael because
he's Mikey to me.
He's Mikey to you, and Jamie, who coached him, does the same thing, and he's very nice about it. He does not act like he minds it. There's affinity for your swimmers, people that swam for you since they were 5 years old. And now they're high schoolers, and it just seems weird to us, like their parents. They got big too quick.
Really, really good start there for Patterson Mill.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying I would not be surprised.
And Ryan had a great 100 free, I believe.
Yes, he did. That was a very close exchange.
23.64. Again, trying to time it perfectly, that can be a little bit tricky.
Yes. Sometimes you tell coaches will tell you to do safe starts, and you've done that. And that's usually in the 400 free relay when you know you've already the title sewed up, then you say, just finish second or third at worst, and we'll be good. So now we have the leaders coming back here slightly. So I'm going to go on record as saying Aberdeen is going to want to lead because Joey Sauer is anchoring Patterson Mill. So let's see if he gets a big enough lead here for his teammate. He's doing a great job right now. Is that
Really
Justin
good.
Ng?
Yes, really good 50 free there by Justin.
I think Justin gave him the lead that he will need. So let's see if that's true. Joseph is going to have to swim the 50 of his life to catch this.
Yeah, really great turn there by Aberdeen. Good turn by Joseph there. Yeah, so it looks like Aberdeen is going to win.
Great job.
As long as all of those relay exchanges were legal, 136.94.
Got a great battle for third, fourth.
Patterson Mill, again, really critical points coming in there in second.
So I see here we had lane 1. Seamount Wright got 5th place over North Harford. So little things matter. You got the Seamount Wright coaches happy there that they held their seed because it was very close. So now we have the boys backstroke. I'll do heat 1. We have Isaac Smith in lane 4 and Sebastian Bondroll in lane 5. So I pulled a Kathy. I said very nicely, I'll take that
with the two names.
With 2 names in the read. So I sounded honorable at first, but
Hey, that's perfectly fine. We're getting to the home stretch here. Home stretch.
I was getting her back for that tough name heat she gave me earlier tonight.
I know. I'm hoping there aren't any more of those in here.
Okay, so tell us about the backstroke and the backstroke rules, Kathy, and start with the start and how they kind of pull themselves up to lunge back.
Again, you'll see swimmers some are going to come out of the water a little bit more, but the most important thing is that your toes don't come out of the water. So we talked about the backstroke wedge. I didn't see any of the swimmers here use that, but you may see that later on. So you'll see them pull that down from the block so they can get that good grip on the wall. Again, your toes have to stay under the water. You cannot use that ledge. There's a very nice ledge here at Magnolia Middle, but you cannot use that to push off. So they're going to pull themselves up, trying to get almost like a back dive into the water, and then they're going to try to go as far as they can underwater. Again, you do have to come up at that 15-yard mark designated by those red buoys. You got to start swimming at that point or break the surface, really, is what the rule says. And then you're going to see the swimmers really working to make sure that their turns are good. So this is going to be the final turn here coming in for our swimmer from Aberdeen, Isaac. And so he's gotten his stroke count, so he's looking at the flags to make sure, and he's about to flip over, and that's a really good turn right there. And then he's going to push off the wall in a nice streamline, and he is going to head for home. So that, again, the turns are critical. There's a lot of technicalities on the backstroke turn that can be problematic if you're not clear on what you're doing. So again, that stroke count's critical. And coming into the wall, you're looking for those flags again, and you should know how many strokes it takes for your finish so you can finish strong. And that was a really great swim, 137.05. I think that was a pretty good time drop there.
You dropped 5 seconds.
For our Aberdeen swimmer. So yeah, definitely a lot of technical in backstroke. And backstroke is very unique. Obviously, it's the only one where you're out of the water.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about breathing.
Yeah, good underwaters are really becoming kind of, I think, the standard for backstroke, especially in sprint backstroke. You'll see, your world-class athletes are going as far as they can, even in the 200 backstroke. So when we have the Olympics in 2028, I'm sure we'll see that. But yeah, backstroke, and again, it's not necessarily on your back. It is a little bit more side to side. Really trying to make sure you're getting a good pull. Kind of reverse, obviously, what you're doing on freestyle. Here we go with heat 2. So I am up. Lane 1 is Zion White from Edgewood. Lane 2 is Xavier Bondrel from Edgewood. Lane 3 is Braden Goodell from Harford Tech. Lane 4 is Bobby Barberis from Patterson Mill. Lane 5 is Aiden Duda from North Harford.
So I want to do a shout out from last night that I didn't get to mention that I talked about a lot last year. But Carolyn Pennington from Elkton, she is outstanding in regular swimming here. She's going to swim for Loyola next year. You may know the name of the coach, and they were really excited about swimming for the Loyola College coach.
Brian Loeffler?
Yes, and she swims for a club coach too, and she is a decent chance of making the 2028 United States Paralympic team.
That's amazing.
She didn't make it last time because you had to have 1 or 2 international meets, and they didn't have the time to take her there, partly because of her age. So I talked to Dad, who's one of our, he's our starter tonight, and I asked him, I said, what are her chances? And he said there's a lot of different categories, and Team USA is trying to put together people that can medal.
Right.
So sometimes they'll move a person from one category to another to increase their chances, but he said, based on times, she should make the team.
That's fantastic.
And I'm
Maryland Swimming has a really great contingent of Paralympians. I know we've had several.
Anita Long? Or what's her name? The one that won so many of them from Maryland.
Yes, and
Last
I'm
name
gonna
Long. Jessica?
Jessica Long.
Jessica
Yes.
Long.
So and really great story there. But they, we've had several Paralympians from Maryland Swimming. So hopefully that'll continue and she can be part of that legacy.
So we have the 200 freestyle results, and in 6th place was Bel Air Bobcats. In 5th place, C. Milton Wright. In 4th place, Havre de Grace. 2nd place, Hartford Tech. 3rd place, Hartford Tech. 2nd place, Patterson Mill. And 1st place, Aberdeen, with Brian Eng, Gabriel Rios, Justin Eng, and Alex Park. And here's the crazy thing about that. There's not a senior on that Aberdeen team.
Wow.
So they're going to be strong for a while. So the team standings are getting really exciting. I'm going to go all the way from 6th place because that shows you how deep this is. Bel Air Bobcats 133, Hartford Tech 147, C. Milton Wright 154, Patterson Mill 163, Havre de Grace 166, and Aberdeen 173. So it's tight. 7 points between 1st and 2nd place, and 10 points between, only 19 points behind is C. Milton Wright. So these last events could change everything here, Kathy.
Yeah, just a couple more to go. I think it looks like we got Heat 3 coming up.
So what we have here, did I call this last one or did you? Okay.
Legend, I think, is in lane 1.
Yeah, I'll go. Legend Thompson from Hartford Tech in lane 1, Indy Panchura from C. Milton Wright in lane 2, Kurt Tran from Bel Air in lane 3, Grayson Whaley from North Hartford in lane 4, Declan Crothers from Havre de Grace in lane 5, and Miles Gustafsson from Falls in lane 6. These swimmers could impact these standings. And here's something I didn't bring up before. I sort of did. You only can have 2 of your 4 entries and score. So some of these teams have 3 or 4 people that finish in the top 16, but they can't all score.
Right.
So other people that were behind them bump up spots. So that's why every coach tells people, swim your best time. Let's see where the chips fall. See if anybody's stealing the race here. So you have Indy
Got a pretty good
Panchura
race here. Yeah, that was
going out, and he's with the top 2 seeds, and that's not where his time says he should be. And then you have your top 2 seeds in Kurt Tran and Grayson Whaley doing what they're supposed to be doing. So,
and you'll see the officials. So there's 2 there down at the turn end, checking these backstroke turns. Again, probably the most technical turn besides the backstroke to breaststroke turn in IM. So looks like everybody did pretty well there. Coming into home, he's really having a great race here for North Hartford.
So I will tell you, and I won't name the names, but the places mattered here, and their turns affected it. So some people got outswam in the water, but they gained distance on their turns.
Right.
So good swim.
We have Heat 4. Yeah, that was a great swim. Lane 1 is Vincent Nguyen of Hartford Tech. Lane 4 is Ryan Hughes of Patterson Mill. Lane 3, Brian Eng, Aberdeen. Lane 4, Michael Pape of Patterson Mill. Lane 5, Aiden Jackson of C. Milton. Lane 6, Porter McGill of Bel Air. And again, we'll probably see some faster swims, from our athletes here. Everybody seems to really be dropping some significant time. That home stretch and it being so close, again, we're going to, see everybody's motivated. Give a little bit of a delay here.
So what do you miss the most about this, Kathy, as a swimmer or a coach or both?
it depends.
You like competing. I know
I
you
really
like competing.
liked competing. I really loved coaching. I felt very privileged to have the swimmers that I had. I had great support from the families, really, really dedicated swimmers and athletes who, did everything I asked them to do for the most part when it came to training. So I do miss that. There's nothing better than seeing, somebody do something that they didn't think they could do, or, reaching whatever that milestone is or that success, whatever that looks like for them. So I would say coaching on that front. I still love to swim, so I still get to, get in the pool a little bit. But yeah.
Did I call this one yet?
I think we did. So this was heat 4. I think we did do this one, and you're seeing some of the swimmers pull down, like they're in lane 2, trying to get that wedge set in place where they need it.
Well, I'll go back to what you were saying, and this happened to me last night. I still coach summer swim, so you have kids on 12 different summer swim teams, but they don't all go to the school closest to them.
Right.
Some of them swim for other high schools, especially with magnet programs and stuff. So I have kids.
Great start by Ryan.
Yes, I have kids that from all kind of areas who say hello to me. So last night I was at the end of the pool getting results, taking the pictures for the podiums for tonight's thing, and I probably had 50 girls come up and say hello. And that's very rewarding. Either they were on my summer swim, or they know me from summer swim, or they're a younger brother and sister from somebody else, or I know them from another sport. And to me, that's one of the most rewarding things about coaching.
Right.
Do I relish and enjoy some of the championships and so forth? Yes. But it's the relationships to me that matter so much. He's going to steal into the top heat again. This is a dominant second fastest heat performance. So I'm looking forward to seeing this time.
Really good finish.
Wow.
57.94.
57.94
So
is...
that will be the top time by a few seconds, actually, coming into this. So we'll have to see what the next heat does. But, yeah, to your point, I think, coaching, the impact that you can make. I had a former swimmer parent tell me that their child is now running a marathon.
Oh, my gosh.
And, really credits a lot of the swimming that we did, and that, just the mentality and that discipline that it takes to be able to do that. So, yeah, I think that impact that you can make is even, as an athlete, it's limited, but as a coach, there's a lot of opportunities there.
So let's see if Ryan Hughes' 2 outstanding performances help propel them to a chance at the team title, because
he really went for it there.
He moved up more spots in his events tonight than anybody. It doesn't matter that you don't get first sometimes. It matters how great your performance is for your team. Okay, so in heat 5 here we have Tanner Carson. Or remember you were in heat 4?
No, we're on heat 5 already. Can you believe it?
So heat 5, Tanner Carson from Harford Tech, another versatile swimmer, Justin Eng from Aberdeen, Theo Kidwell from Falston, Bo Cameritz from Elkton, Cameron Ollis from Perryville, and James F. Stepp. I talked about the Cecil County talent. You got 3 in the fastest heat here.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yes, they have, each of those schools has 1 or 2 stars, and that's outstanding.
Well,
They're honoring, who are they honoring here? It looks like they're honoring Bo. Or is this James? I don't know which one it is.
So I just heard them say, because I don't know if our viewers at home can hear, that he is going to be swimming in college.
That's awesome.
It's exciting.
Don't.
So he's in lane 5.
Doesn't surprise me. So
lane 4, that is Bo.
Let's see if this 57 that Ryan Hughes popped in the last heat holds up.
And the question is, did they see that time? To your point, were they paying attention? I was always paying attention to that. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending upon how you, motivate yourself. But always good to kind of know where you stand.
So you see different body positions here. Some of them are already crunched up. Our lane 3 and 4 are dropped way back. They're waiting for the signal to pull up.
I didn't see anybody really bring down that backstroke wedge. Ryan had a great start. He had that wedge in place, and really again, personal preference for what you're comfortable with and how did you train. So backstroke 2, you can see lane 3 really, really fast tempo. As long as you have a fast tempo in backstroke, that is fantastic. You just want to make sure you're not slipping through the water.
Look at these
But, yeah,
streamlines
they
they
are
do off the
really-
wall.
I know it's absolutely amazing how far the underwater, and it's actually almost considered the fifth stroke when you think about it for training. Not something that was trained many years ago, but something that coaches really focus on now is that underwater as part of their practice every single day.
So I'm going to name drop here a
27-9.
little bit, going back to the Mason Young and the Kyle Rutherford days of the underwaters that were amazing. Cade Snyder
Cade.
in recent years.
And Cade's still swimming and doing
Delaware,
amazing with his
yes.
underwaters. Yep.
I said, Cade, you're
This is
swimming a
gonna
butterfly and backstroke faster than most people can swim a freestyle.
59-51. So yeah, Ryan Hughes
pulled it out.
with the 57 from the heat before is going to be your champion.
So here,
Great swim though, 59. He dropped 2 seconds there.
here we go to the, I think I updated the team standings. If I didn't, at the end of the freestyle relay, it's 200. It's Aberdeen is in first still, 7 points ahead of Aberdeen Grace. So now we have the breaststroke, and our heat 1 is Eric Chen in lane 2 from Falston, Miori Hayes from Edgewood in lane 3, Nate Turan from Haverty Grace in lane 4. This is the stroke you either get or you don't. And I mean, I'm very proud of what my team teaches in summer swim. We work on the breaststroke with the kids early, but it's very common for coaches to see, like, I'm not going to teach the little one the breaststroke and the butterfly at the same time because they'll get confused.
Right.
So we generally get them good at the breaststroke, and then when we think they're ready for the butterfly, we teach them. But, I mean, folks, you have to do this pull perfectly. You're trying to bob up just enough to get your mouth out without pulling your head up and back too much. And then you want to have a good streamline. So, Kathy, describe the stroke and the pull out here.
So you're required to at least your head break the surface when you're doing the swimming portion. So normally when we're teaching it, it's a pull, breathe, kick, glide, or breathe, pull, kick, glide, depending upon what the swimmer's timing is. Breaststroke is probably the most technical. I know people would think butterfly, but I would say breaststroke all day long because that timing to raise point has to be perfect. When you come off of the wall, you can do your streamline. You want to try to hold the streamline as long as possible because that's going to be your most efficient part of your swim. You're allowed to do 1 dolphin kick, and then you can pull your arms down to your hips 1 time underwater. 1 kick, and then you're required to come up and start swimming. So as we see here, the swimmer that we're looking at is doing that pull, breathe, kick, glide, and then you have to do 2-hand touch at the end. So we'll see the swimmers here hopefully doing their 2-hand touch required at the turn end right there, and then will also be required at the finish. So you can see that the lane 3 swimmer has pulled ahead a little bit. So that is Miori Hayes from Edgewood, and he is was able to kind of use that streamline to come off of that wall a little bit faster. So you can see the different styles too. It looks like he's got a little bit more of a fly kick compared to that whip kick. Breaststroke is one of those, you'll see it kind of done multiple different ways. And again, it really comes down to what works best for the swimmer and what that timing looks like for them.
So you and I go back far enough to remember Kathy Rising in this event and from Bel Air.
Swam on many relays where Kathy Rising was coming into while I was getting ready to swim butterfly in club swimming. So
And I think her
very classic breaststroker.
Yes. So you go from Kathy Rising and Sherwin Sapasap back in the day for Edgewood, and then you go to the Kyle Paxton holding the record, and then you
The
have
O'Maras.
the O'Mara girls, Lauren and Julia, and I just feel like the really good ones look like water bugs going across the water.
Yeah, they
They're just-
definitely do. It's like that tempo, and that's one of the things too with the timing. Trying to get how long are you going to glide before you
Yes.
do the pull again. And again, like, are you a power swimmer or is it more leg propelled? Really depends, but it is definitely the most technical. And I do want to make sure we get heat 2 who's in the water here. So Dylan Chalega from Hartford Tech in lane 1, Caleb Pamela from Hartford Tech in lane 2, Brendan Davis Romaine from Aberdeen in lane 3, Miles Kerr from Bel Air in lane 4, and Garrett Jacobs from Rising Sun in lane 5. Again, really doing a great job here with that breaststroke technique. You'll see some swimmers too kind of bring their hands out of the water a little bit more like lane 3. You cannot bring them out of the water where it would actually, your arms would be coming out, because one of the distinctions in swimming is you want to make sure each of those swimming styles is is distinct. And if your arms were to come out, you can see just the hands, which is fine. That would be more of a butterfly type stroke. So that is one of the unique things with breaststroke, where that recovery is actually under the water.
Probably the most DQable event.
Correct. And I think we just had a DQ. You see the official on the side raising his hand, which would probably indicate something happened at the turn end with one of the swimmers. Again, you have to do those 2 hands, have to make sure that your shoulders are parallel, can't be kind of one up, one down. So it's definitely very, very technical.
Good cheering, coaches. So
I like the Hawaiian shirts from Bel Air's contingency. Their coaches are in the Hawaiian shirts tonight.
there's Porter McGill's mom, Deanna, there, leaning over, timing. Shout out to the parents.
Yeah, for
that
sure.
come
Brendan,
and do this.
133.
I mean, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand about swimming. It's a parent-driven organization. You think that's the case with everything, but it's not. You go to a soccer game and the officials have nothing to do with that team. They're people that got certified to be referees. Swimming, the parents are sort of half of our officials because we need parents to be timers. So here we are tonight for the championships, but at regular meets, we have timers, we have runners who take the results,
All
we have
volunteer
clerk of
parents.
course. So we have the Heat 3 here. We have Maxton Fulmer from Bel Air in lane 1, Ben Montoya from Falls in lane 2, Spencer Baki from Havre Grace in lane 3, Carson Scheller from Falls in lane 4. We have Wyatt Byrne from Harford Tech in lane 5, and we have Ben Hess from Patterson Mill in lane 6. So back to that thing. In a summer meet, tonight the host teams,
Great pull
Joppatown
on
and Havre Grace, have most of their parents working. So they have people down on the deck. They have people doing clerk of course, which is where the swimmers go to and come out for their event. There's like 5 or 6 different jobs. And just to run a regular season meet, you need 12 to 18 parents to time, somebody to be the head timer, which I've done many a time, and so forth. So, like I said, most of these officials, their kids swam. They were asked to become an official, and they became pretty good at it. I was watching the camaraderie of the officials in the coaches' officials room before the meet, and they were all goofing around, jumping around, joking around. They have friendships that they've developed through this.
Right.
So
Ben Montoya's having a great swim out of lane 2 for Falston. Speaking of underwaters, he is doing an amazing job with his pullouts.
he's getting 5, 6, 7 yards on it.
Yeah, he is definitely, you can tell that's something that probably he's been working on. So, yeah, really great job here. And we also have lane 5, Wyatt, who's kind of coming up a little bit. I think this is going to be a really good swim. Looks like a big time drop for Ben here.
We are down to 4 heats of
126.
races left, folks, and that's it.
126.21 is going to be your winning time for that heat. We have heat 4 coming up. And that time looks like it might sneak in for a top 16 finish here. So we have heat 4 in lane 1 is going to be Liam Abbey of Rising Sun. Lane 2, Cedric Keener from Patterson Mill. Lane 3, Patrick Duhamel from Elkton. Lane 4, Owen Starbuck from Edgewood. Lane 5, Averett Halsey from Havre Grace. Lane 6, Sean Lentz from Bow Manor.
So these times, the top few could impact the top 6 in this heat, the top winners in this heat. So it depends on whether they drop time or not. So
We'll
we might
definitely see, it looks like some team scores move around here based on, these next couple of heats.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when you have the 4th place team is only 10 points behind the 1st place team, that's outstanding. And again, I'm going to give shout outs here. Patterson Mill boys, I know they have 8 or 9 boys, but still, there are teams that have 12, 15 swimmers. Seaman Wright, 6 boys on their team? I mean, that's outstanding. North Harford has a small team. They're doing well. So everybody's doing really, really well tonight. So I have the backstroke results here, and it was Tanner Carson in 6th, Justin Eng in 5th, Bo Cameron's in 4th, Cameron Ollis in 3rd, Theo Kidwell in 2nd, and Ryan Hughes in 1st.
And the team score has gotten even closer.
Oh, geez. Let me see here.
We're back within a point for 1st and 2nd.
So C. Milton Wright is 5th with a 162, and then you have Haverty Grace 4th at 166, Harford Tech at 167. It's kind of a two-team race unless there's a mistake made. But we'll see after the breaststroke because that could matter. You got Patterson Mill 195 and Aberdeen 196. But let's see if they have.
So it looks like Cedric Keener for Patterson Mill is their breaststroker in this event, and then Aberdeen has the top seed in breaststroke,
Right.
which will be in the next heat. So keep an eye on this heat. What is lane 2 doing? That's important for the team scores.
Yeah, and Aberdeen has the top seed, so that bodes well for them. Well, North Hartford winning last night, I asked them if they've won before, and they did win once when they had the Catcherbone girls and Emily Perry and all them. I think they won one girls championship then. I think the Catcherbone girls swam for you at Fountain Green some.
They did. I think they had Hillary Young as well on
And
that team.
I asked somebody if Aberdeen ever won a team championship, and they didn't know.
We need to get the book out. There's a
Oh,
book.
no. It's the Debbie book.
Yes.
She put that together for us at our banquets. And I looked for it at home, but I couldn't find it.
We'll have to get that program back out.
So here we go with the fastest heat of the
Yep.
last event of the night. We have Tyler Sweat from C. Milton Wright in lane 1. We have Leon Goka from Bel Air in lane 2. We have Gabriel Rios from Aberdeen in lane 3. We have Michael Scheffler from Rising Sun in 4. We have Joseph Forrest from C. Milton Wright in 5. And we have Aiden Knapp from Harford Tech in lane 6.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good race, I think, here.
Oh, wow. We have lane.
Lane 2 seems to be on fire for breaststroke tonight.
He's going out there. But
And
this
that
is
is
an event
Senior
where you
Leon.
see the strokes and the glides matter. Like some people can swim where they look so relaxed, and then it means their second 50 is good. But you can't overpace 100, Kathy.
Right, correct.
So let's see if our
Oh, there we
leader.
go.
Oh, geez, let's see the pull out here.
Lane 4 is, yeah, but
Running out of space here.
wow,
Wow.
107.94. Great
Yeah.
swim from lane 4. He's very excited. Michael Schleppler from Rising Sun.
Well, I think we have a lot of best times, and we're being told that there's no overall team winner anymore, and I hadn't heard that. So we'll see when they announce the awards if they do one. Who sent you that, Kathy?
That is from one of the coaches on deck.
Okay. They must be listening to us.
I think they are.
I think we're being spied on. What is up with that? So here we go. I mean, that was a unique thing for swimming for many years. That they
yes,
did a
the
combined
overall,
score.
and that definitely played into strategy too of
Yes.
kind of how you were doing things.
So let's see here. Aberdeen was up by 1 after that. So you and I doing a little bit of math.
And they
got third.
Yep.
But did they have another swimmer?
Patterson Mill was in the 4th heat. I think Aberdeen is going to be on top here. But then again, it's going to come down to the relays because you look at the relay situation. You have Patterson Mill. They are actually in the 1st heat for the 400 free relay. And you do have Aberdeen, though, who's in the second heat, but they're actually in lane 6. So it's going to be very close.
It's going to come down to the wire here because Pattersonville and Aberdeen both loaded up in the first 2 relays. So this is where you're coming down to rely on your other swimmers and what they can do for you. So like you see here in Aberdeen in lane 6 of the fast heat, they virtually had the same time as lane 1 with North Hartford. So
Right.
moving up that 1 spot is a 2-point gain. And like we said, we'll see when we get these breaststroke results, folks, that where they're coming from here. So, well, this is where I kind of do a recap early, Kathy. We've done the individual events. What stands out to you tonight? Some individual swims. I have one, Ryan Hughes, so do you. But I'm very impressed with the depth and the balance of the teams here.
Yeah, it's really been interesting to kind of see that play out where, again, we haven't had that in, I would say, recent memory where you have that. And again, it's probably with the top 2 scoring, that makes it a little bit different situation. But yeah, I think some of the standout swims tonight, I think, Tyler Kirby's 200 free for C. Milton definitely pushed them up a little bit more. Joe Sauer in his events for Patterson Mill, not totally unexpected, but, always good when you're doing your job and had some really good times.
And the C. Milton Wright Stars. I'm sorry, not C. Milton Wright, the Cecil County Stars.
Yeah, Cecil County and their contingency of swimmers, definitely very impressive. And we do have Heat 1 going here for the 400 free relay, which you're going to see each swimmer do 100 freestyle. And in lane 1 is Edgewood, lane 2 is Elkton, lane 3 is Rising Sun, lane 4 is Falston, and lane 5 is Patterson Mill.
So in the 100 breaststroke, we had Tyler Sweat 6th place from C. Milton Wright, held his seed time. Aiden Knapp moved up to 5th place, and he dropped 2.5 seconds. Joseph Forrest swam where he was supposed to and got 4th place. Leon Goka dropped almost 2 seconds for 3rd place. Gabriel Rios. See, this is where people don't get what happens. Gabriel Rios was the top seed. He dropped a 1.7 seconds and got
Great
2nd
swim,
place.
yeah.
So he didn't get his seating he wanted, but he swam the best he could possibly swim. Michael Schlepper from Rising Sun just happened to do great. And he dropped almost 3 seconds to get a good time there. So
yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, too, with the relays. Again, the Cecil County teams look like, they've had some great individual swims. They don't necessarily have as much depth on each of the individual teams, although Elkton's having a pretty good relay here. So, and they put, Bo on the front end of their relay, it looks like, and then you have James Estep on the end, who've both been swimming really well tonight, as well as Neil and Patrick. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. And again, kind of bumping down some of the other teams as well, where they're going to maybe take away some of those points.
So Aberdeen going into the last event, and we're in Heat 1 of the 400 free relay. Ballard Bobcats had a great meet with 158 points.
That DQ on the medley relay, though, definitely.
Yes, we would be up around the 180s, but it wouldn't have kept them from winning the championship. Same thing with the C. Milton Wright girls last night with their relay DQ. North Hartford was the other team I think was DQ in that first relay. But I always feel better to know that the DQs didn't affect a championship.
Right.
And that's important because nobody wants to see any kids go through that pain. Here's the odd thing. Right now, with Aberdeen in first with 213 points and Patterson Mill in second with 201 points, the Aberdeen coach should be saying to their swimmers, safest relay exchanges ever.
Right.
Just score the points you're supposed to score.
Talk to them before they.
Yes. And that's where we always panic and we send somebody down, and if we don't get there,
safe
go
start,
go
safe
down
start.
and tell them safe starts. Yeah. And then, but here's the weird dynamic. The positions could change here between all these places. Havre de Grace with 174, Hartford Tech with 183, they could maybe change spots. Hartford Tech is in 4th. C. Milton Wright's in 3rd with 190. They could change spots. C. Milton Wright is in 3rd place with 190. They're 11 points behind Patterson Mill. Can they score 11 points more than that? Probably not with one event, but you never know.
Right.
And a DQ will affect everything if somebody DQs.
Right.
So, Kathy, before we go to this last race, I want to thank you again for being here.
No, thanks so much for having me. This has been great.
You're always, our friend Randy Slotnick filled in admirably for you last year. He realized how difficult it was to say all these names as much as we do. But you both are outstanding at this, and I'll always be glad to have either of you. You have more knowledge than most of us combined in this sport.
I'm officially a swim nerd. I wear that title proudly.
So, you know what?
It's like it's a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
It is, and it's weird because
4:08:67.
let's see if that plays. Because the thing is, everybody has skill sets in life. People look at you, me, these other coaches, and they go, how did you see that? And if you've done this long enough, you can see it. Okay, you're popping your head up a little bit too soon. You're doing this. Your arm is coming forward a little bit too soon in your rhythmic breath. Hey, there are experts in every sport. And again, shout out to all these coaches. A lot of these coaches, most of them know the sport pretty well. Mm-hmm. Others are asked to learn it.
Right. And that is, thank goodness for, all of the education that's out there that you can really,
yes.
Look some things up and even just try new things. But even with all of the experience, things are always changing and always evolving. I think that's kind of the nice thing about the sport. Trying something new from a training perspective. The one thing I would say, what works is hard work. Mm-hmm. That's never going to hopefully go out of style. But there is always something new to learn no matter how long you've been doing this.
Well, there's so many different ways to make a swimmer better. Training, yardage, the effort they put in, teaching. You can tweak a kid's technique in any stroke, any turn, any start, and it means a big difference in their race. How good they learn is important, and they want to soak up the knowledge you're giving them. So our last event here is the 400 freestyle second heat, and we have North Hartford in lane 1, Hartford Tech in lane 2, Bel Air in lane 3, Havre de Grace in 4, C. Milton Wright in 5, Aberdeen in 6. So you could see some changes in the standings here, and
again, the relays are double points.
yes.
So that's definitely something I'm sure these swimmers are thinking about as they're in the water. Plus, it's the last relay of the night, and you want to make sure you're going out on the best note that you possibly can. Looks like we have a really tight race here between, 3, 4, and 5, which is awesome. Bel Air, Havre de Grace, and C. Milton.
So you have Kurt Tran, Jonah Buckelman, and Tyler Kirby. Tyler Kirby's team is seated 4th in this, and he has them up there with the leaders, so that's a great start for him.
Yeah, they're really giving it their all right now. Looks like Tyler is going to be coming into the wall first for the exchange to the second swimmer. Looks like a pretty good start by everybody there.
So, again, strategy comes in. Sometimes you don't put your fastest swimmer last and you put them first, and other times you put them last. And it could depend on, did they swim the 100 breaststroke? Give them another 3 minutes plus of rest. Mm-hmm. So sometimes teams' middle 2 swimmers decide the race.
Right.
Their depth.
And we can see Havre de Grace is coming back in Bel Air as well.
Mm-hmm.
C. Milton's hanging in there, though, to your point. Kind of figure out what is that going to look like, what's going to give you the best time at the end.
So Havre de Grace is trying to go up, make up a lot of points. Let me see here. That's the wrong event. From the 100 breaststroke, how many points were they behind again? 12. So 12 points means that's many places higher. That's at least five or six places higher. So I'll have to wait and see
Yeah,
where.
this is really going to be, I think, a battle here. We'll see what the third swimmer ends up doing.
I think the top two teams are starting the lap teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is definitely, they're almost going stroke for stroke a little bit here.
Yeah.
This is where that strategy is going to come into play. Who do you have on the end of the relay?
And how aggressive are you on the relay exchanges?
Right.
You know, like if I'm the anchor and I have to win this race for us to win the team meet, I'm risking a close start. I'm being aggressive. So let me see who that is. This the third leg or the fourth?
I believe this is the fourth leg already, if you can believe
No,
that.
by the time it should be, yes. So our anchor for Bel Air is Ian Merrill, and then our anchor for Havre de Grace is Ryden Graham. So
yeah, this is still going to be, I think, a close fight to the finish.
I think Ian has a faster 100 split normally, but Ryden is working hard to hold him off and saying, you're going to have to give it everything you have to catch me.
Yeah, really great effort by all of the swimmers. You can see they're both got that awesome kick going behind them.
Havre
It
de
is going to be
Grace
Havre
is
de Grace,
pumped.
349. Bel Air in second with a 350.
Yep.
And it looks like, do we have our third place finisher in? They're almost there to the wall, and I think that looks like that's going to be C. Milton with a 402.94.
Oh, they got third. Wow.
And so our team in the first heat had a 408, so they're going to bump some of these other teams for fourth place, but it looks like that final heat did have the top three.
Well, I think that might be C. Milton Wright's first podium of the night, but I'm not sure.
I believe that might
Unless
be.
Tyler was
in the 200 free.
Yes, he got third
He
in
did
200
make
free.
the podium,
Yes.
yeah. But that's exciting.
Well, that
Great
shows you
effort.
something strange about team sport. If C. Milton Wright finishes second or third with 6 swimmers and not one single winner, that shows you well-roundedness. Other teams like Patterson Mill, well-rounded also, by Joseph Sauer and Ryan Hughes, they got 4 of the team the individual wins from one team. I mean, that's impressive.
That's a lot of points.
You see a big variety of ways teams get their points.
Yeah, put that puzzle together.
It is a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, you have graduated to a different level of swim nerd, but you were one before too, Kathy.
Yes, I think so.
I'm not going to say you can say you're sage now or something and wise and grown into one. No, you were one back then too. I guarantee you were one of those swimmers in even your high school team that was thinking, if so-and-so does this and so-and-so does this.
Oh, yes, and I had every single
We can
Splash
win.
magazine and every single, top 16 time list that came out, back in the day when
Yes.
you didn't have computers to tell you what the competition across the country looked like.
C. Milton Wright.
All right, so
Havre de Grace High School.
doing some awards here.
Harvard Technical High School. Aiden Knapp.
This is
This should be the
the
200 free
200 free
relay.
relay, yeah.
Yeah.
In second place for Patterson
So based on that, we will tell you that
Alex Guerrero.
the 200 free relay results, I have it here somewhere. You have to excuse me, folks. I have like 5 different piles of
We have a
papers
lot of
here.
paper.
And so we have third place Hartford Tech, second place Patterson Mill, and first place Aberdeen. It's hard to fit 12 people on that podium, Kathy.
It is. And I believe that podium was actually someone's Eagle Scout project, from what I saw. So amazing. The podium that they had before, I think, may have been a risk management problem. The one that had been around since probably the 80s, that you actually had to pull somebody up on to get up on that top step. This one looks a little bit safer.
Yes.
But I did hear that that podium was actually an Eagle Scout project.
Was it
I want to
Karen
say maybe
Gonzalez's
Karen
daughter?
Gonzalez's daughter that did that. Yeah. So again, going back to the the whole community of swim. It does take that village even to get the podium built.
Yes. So in the 100 backstroke coming up next, I have Cameron Ollis in third place from Perryville, and I have Theo Kidwell from Falston, and then we have Ryan Hughes of Patterson Mill. So this is one of my favorite things to telecast, and I appreciate Don allowing me to do this and have you with me. 14 teams here, and it's a 2-day meet. Remember the old days? This was
Prelims
a
finals.
4-day meet.
It was a long week.
We were exhausted by the end of the week.
Yes, yes.
I think the coaches were as tired as the swimmers.
Probably more.
And we were here for 4 long nights, and I remember telling my swimmers sometimes, so for background sake, folks, Kathy was a star at Falston, but she coached C. Milton Wright to many championships. I was the Bel Air High School coach and won some championships, and then I coached John Carroll back when they were in the league. You had some very good friends and rivalries from that. And you had a girls qualifying night on Monday or Tuesday.
I think it was, depending. I think they switched it every year.
So then they had to qualify. Then you had the boys qualifying night, and you had the girls final night and the boys final night. So part of your strategy, you needed to think about how tired they would be. So, like, did you want them swimming the 200 AM and the 500?
Well, and I know sometimes they would say, don't come to the boys'
Yes,
night because
yes,
you want to
yes.
rest for your final the next day.
Yes. So in the breaststroke here are 3 podium people. Are Leon Joka from Bel Air third, Gabrielle Rios second, and Michael Schlepper first. And then we're going to have our 400 free relay, and I'm a little surprised about the team standings here. They don't mesh with what I had for, unless there was a DQ, and there was. So I'll take that out of the equation. So here we go again. 400 free relay. Third place, North Harford. Second place, Bel Air. First place, Havre de Grace. And then the boys on Havre de Grace were Shane Stradling, Samuel Chadwick, Anthony Free, and Ryden Graham with that great anchor. I'm going to tell you the team standings now, even though we are minutes away from that. We did have some disqualifications, both Elkton and C. Milton Wright just false started in one of their exchanges. So according to my math, Kathy, C. Milton Wright would have finished second place. Elkton had a great meet with their efforts and having such a small team. So very impressed with them with only having like 5 swimmers as well. So nice picture of the 400 freestyle relay folks up there doing the bite your medal thing. Did you do that, Kathy?
No, I did not. That was not a thing way back in the day.
So you were a swim geek, but you weren't like...
This is probably because of social media. We didn't have that, thank goodness. When I was around, the best you got was your picture in the paper. Do they still have papers?
So we're going to do a sign-off here pretty soon. I'm going to say the final team scores, boys champion, first time ever or second time ever, Aberdeen High School, with Patterson Mill second, only 14 points behind. Havre de Grace, very close. They would have been, they're 214, so they're only 25 points behind. So I think it's a really well-rounded night. Kathy, before we sign off, any closing words?
No, definitely a lot of great races this evening, a lot of great effort by not only the coaches, obviously the swimmers doing their part, but the fans and everyone that showed up to support these athletes and shows up every day to support them. Just an amazing effort by everybody. Love the swim community. It really truly is a community that, you know, just supports everybody. Love to see all the smiles on the faces from all the great swims. Looks like you can see they're already ready to take the lane lines out of the pool. I know you're going to have a very excited, obviously, Aberdeen High School, you know, boys team that's going to be crowned the champion here, it looks like, in a minute.
Yeah, it looks like they're gathering over here. So we can just
Congratulations
say
to Aberdeen.
congratulations, Aberdeen. And,
Awesome.
you know, girls champion last night, North Hartford, first time in many years. And Aberdeen, either their first or second team title ever. Great job to coaches and swimmers. So thank you, Kathy, for being here. It's been a great night. Thank you, crew, for all you do. I'm Ray Ruse signing off with the picture here of the Aberdeen boys being presented their team championship plaque. Congratulations, Aberdeen.